Bob, on this one.
E1018018.
8018.
I say 018. I'm more. E1018018. Somewhere around no. E108. 108 should be around 1801. Yes, 1801A. Hello. 1801A. Christ Apostolic Church. Then I'm on my hello. 1802A. Then it's up. 1802A. We are not messing with
my brother, this will confuse us. My brother, let's proceed with it. Let's proceed with it. So after that, then because one train here, and the brother flag,
all those we are flagging here are those
Hello, you can sit again. Me bo na se wunia quickly near flag him. Se be flag near flag out front. The bomb chow. LA Primary School, Ahojo 1. E100601B. E100601B. Six zero one B. You have NPP 156, JFP 0, NDC 126, Golo 0, Rashid 0, Valid 282, rejected 4, inbox 286. Osanjan Primary School in Suhum 1. Osanjan Primary School in Suhum 1. E100706. E100706. Osanjan Primary School in Suhum 1.
And someone died.
You didn't take that one. Who died? So, Gabi, who died? Only enter or we share a big city as more enter.
What's it on here?
I'm sorry.
NPP Munye.
You have the report.
We entered it that day.
You have it. No, hold on.
More entire. Then more interesting. You have it. Okay. NPP 161. NDC 60. Nkaifoni 90.
Rejected.
Valid votes 221. Rejected 0. Inbox 221.
But this one doesn't correspond with the one you recorded. The one you recorded.
Yes.
This one, as we started,
Gabi. Gabi.
It wasn't
Gabi.
written.
You exercise sessions. Who recorded it?
We'll revisit it.
So we know. Number 2 days.
But don't worry, let's make progress. We'll revisit the one he's talking about.
But this one, we have recorded it.
we have recorded the marks, the vote team, all right.
The other time, we did it last
But
time.
then on the pin sheet, there are other conditions on it that we have to look at.
No problem.
Yes.
Kale,
You don't have the pin sheet at all.
So which is which?
And one also next one.
This one.
The Lord's Pentecostal Church, Asante Accra 2.
Yes.
The Lord's Pentecostal Church, Asante Accra 2.
Which one?
The one we don't have the pink sheet, we are flagging it. So all this one we don't have, but we have recorded it.
That was what we had recorded the other time.
We don't have the pink sheet. So all this one we have recorded, but we don't have the pink sheet. That's why we are flagging. So respectfully, can you flag? Why we have
Those that you have not.
Like MC is saying, let's check those who have applied and see those that you have recorded. We have the recordings already. If you have the recordings already, we can it. But those that we don't have and we have just recorded, we have to take it off. Because if you have recorded it, then why have you flagged it?
So at the end of the day, at the end of the day,
because it's already added to the book.
Hello, you have added already. Yes. At the end of the day, if this pin sheet is under contention and the data needs to be erased or amended, we can still do the amendment before we finalize.
Then why do we enter it? If we are going to do amendment, why do we enter it?
So that I can understand them. Where other data we recorded the last all of us.
Those ones we can keep. That is what they are saying.
Osejan was one of them.
Those ones we can keep.
Osejan one was one of them. Osejan was part of them that we recorded yesterday.
Yes,
But
that one
the
you don't
Osejan one
temper
was.
with
It was recorded last Saturday.
But that one you don't temper with it.
What I'm saying is that those that we recorded the previous time, that's why we maintain them. But the new ones that we have flagged,
You don't enter.
we don't enter it.
Then why did we flag
Osejan, because Osejan last Saturday. We recorded last Saturday.
You don't have the pin sheet to cross check
That's what
it.
MC is saying.
We don't have they don't have the pin sheet. We don't have the pin sheet to cross check it. No, let's get this thing right.
But
We are starting the whole process again.
You have the figures.
We are starting the whole
You have
process.
the figures.
Are we not starting the whole process again?
Yankwe, Ekufu Chrome.
Yeah, that is what we are saying.
You let's record. We record. So that we
Only when they have a big thing sheet to contradict that is necessary. See, the correlation is like we are doing it. Okay. And they are trying to follow what we are doing with their pin sheet. They are not dictating to us. Okay. So when we have a pin sheet and they don't have, we are using our pin sheet. And at the police station, we give everybody pin sheet. Yes.
Boss, we have an understanding we are moving with. If you bring that one in again, we have a difficulty. Yes. Because we have a situation, your pin sheet is inconsistent with the one with what we have. So if you go ahead with your own, there will be a problem. So let us go with our. Let's go with what we are doing.
I understand. That is the difference in our.
No, it's the same. So you don't say when you have, you don't have, you proceed.
That's different scenarios.
Then we can as well leave them to do their work. We can as well leave them to do their work.
Officer, I think your word dictated is not appropriate. To use the word we are dictating, I think it's not appropriate. What you are doing, you are not doing it for yourself, you are doing it for us. It is not for your interest, it's for our interest. So when you use the word dictating, it is wrong. That's what I'm telling you. Yes, you are doing it for us, not you. You don't need it, we need it. You understand? Yes. So we are stakeholders. So don't see us, we are dictating to you. We are stakeholders here.
Some cases is different. Boss, say I am MC can be there. He has a valid point. The records that we all have in the past.
No, the Nigerian flag will revisit it.
No,
Savannah, you said that. The other that you said when our figures and yours is corresponding, you just take it. But now you are demanding the payment again. Why?
Because of the inconsistency we have detected on one of them. Because of the inconsistency, and then you are not using original pin sheets too. You are not original pin sheets.
Let's go.
E101901B.
01B.
1901B.
1901B.
Can we make progress?
Should we go? We don't have it.
You also don't have it.
Yeah, so we flag it.
Next one.
From the regional director, we still have to record it. Then, if you have issues with
Master, we need to remember. We need to record it.
immediately recorded, then it means we have ended the issue.
Taxi rank in Sumia 2.
Taxi rank in Sumia 2.
Taxi rank in Sumia 2. E100 108B. E100 108B. E100 108B. Taxi rank in Sumia 2.
anniversary.
108
B. Machimahu. E1008B.
108B. E100.
You don't have it.
No, man, I know so.
Yeah. Yeah. Lawyer, no, lawyer, no, all right. No, my lawyer, no problem. Counsel, how are you? Oh, okay. No, I can't give the number, so I can only give it to him. The mother's know where I can. He actually must have it. Yes. Also don't have it.
LA Primary School, Opericum 1. E102301B. 2301B. 2301B. Opericum 1. I'm saying, Mahu.
Wow. What's wrong?
NPP 159. JFP 0. NDC 186. Golo 1. Mustafa 0. Valid 346. Rejected 2. Inbox 348. AME Zion Primary School in Suhum 2. Zion Primary School in Suhum 2. E100 505A 505A.
The next one, because the next one, then after we go, the next
NPP 159, GFP 0, NDC 100, Golo 0, Rashid 0, Valid 259, Rejected 0, Inbox 259. Akraman Primary School E10 1301 1301 1301 Akraman Primary School 1301. $13.01.
It's not here.
You don't have it.
Let me go over. $13.01. Akrama money. Old Court Building, Edukoko 2. E10 1604 1604 1604.
You don't have. I never tell. You wait to have any back of
Presby Primary School, you are rep.
Presby
Primary School,
you are rep.
No, some of you. No, you're both will be a
Presby Primary School, you are rep 2. E10 1602 1602.
Gabi, moi.
1602.
Now, moi record Saturday.
1602.
Last one record.
1602. So this 15.
So,
I have flag in white.
Prisons Mill Yard A. Image. E100 507C. 507C.
507C. Image.
A. Image. A. Image. Center C. 507C.
That be more.
We have A, B, C.
Now, that Saturday no record.
There be a record of presidential and a record of
Gabi. French, let me. What's one French? Let me. French, let me.
This is 70.
507.
507C. Gabi Mahuana. Gabi Mahu.
Mahu. Okay.
You don't have. It's a flag.
Yes, they're flag.
Hey. E10 2903A. 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 Presby Church, photo B. Presby Church, photo B.
The last that one. That's one.
Money. Next one, E100. What's one to be? What's it? 907B.
2903A. A or B?
A.
You have it.
What was we need?
They don't have it.
What's up? What flag here? What flag here? But we have it.
If you have a blue one,
They don't have it.
Then you search. Pay attention. Then you search. Let me say over. It's a relax. Yeah, to a fun now. Break. Christ Apostolic Church, Jankrom. Christ Apostolic Church, Jankrom. E100 907B.
Christ Apostolic Church.
907B. Christ Apostolic Church, Jankrom. (907B). 907B.
907B. Gabi, Gabi. Certainly no recording. Certainly no recording.
Drink piano.
drink. Wait, that's what I want
Christ Apostolic Church. Christ Apostolic Church. Janku 907B. Money, also winning. E102-903B. Presby Church, Kotobi. Presby Church, Kotobi. E102-903B. E102-903B. Presby Church, Kotobi.
Please, what's the
E102-903B. Presby Church, Kotobi.
Big to phone one why? No, that's our own.
But we have not entered.
Earlier one we flagged it. The second one.
Okay, but you put it here, right?
No, we have
They flag it, but you put it here. Put it. Check it. So they may enter, but they are sticking it.
Janko, Bachumangu.
But we have. But once it's flagged, it's we have all the photos, 4 photos.
E100-103B. E100-103B. Uncle Dobro JHS. Uncle Dobro JHS.
100-103B.
E100-103B. Uncle Dobro JHS 1. JHS 1.
Check the code. 03B. Yeah.
Did you record the previous one? No. Did you record? No. It didn't go through. It didn't go through.
No, we have recorded it. Right? Check. 3B, 03B. I've got the B.
Did you find the page? You found it. Yeah, you found the page.
103B.
Did you also find it?
They are looking for it.
Yes.
So in this case, what happens to the record? You will maintain it.
No, we have entered it. I just found it. We have initial. That's right.
03B, right? 103B.
Yeah, that's fine. You have it recorded. You see.
I'm seeing your
Why did you bring it?
E100901. Methodist Primary School. E100901. E100901.
I saw doing the 1 hour. No. Mother Frank, please, last 3 figures.
901.
No alphabet. 901. 901.
300, 901.
901 is Methodist Primary School. Oh, Methodist Primary School. Debian Korea. You have it? You don't have it.
Method, battle.
901.
Yes.
901. All right, we are going. We are going.
NPP 268. Patrick Tete, GFP 1. NDC 148. 145. 145. Golo Kwaju 1. Christopher 0. Total valid votes 415. Total rejected 1. Inbox 416. E102703. 2703. Apremsu.
Code
2703. Advertisements Cocoa Park 1502 Advertisements Cocoa Park John Petty 1502 Advertisements Cocoa Park John Petty.
check the book.
E100-104B. 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 4B. 104B. I want to go GSS.
So the exercise is still ongoing, and so far what you have in your shot is the Nigerian constituency. They are still collating, but let's turn to the Suhum constituency to appreciate what the issues are within the Suhum constituency. Generally, what we've seen is that they are on some 10 minutes break, and we see the returning officer here. He's been doing all the tedious jobs since morning. He may want to give us some insight as to how far they've gone with the process. Please, what's your full name? You are live on Channel 1 TV, live on TV. Your colleagues at home, the constituency, they are all on tenterhooks. They want to know what is happening here. At least you can give them the assurance that the process is ongoing smoothly, and then many of them back home can relax. So if you just do us the honors and give us some details, how is it going here? Your full name first.
I'm a Siaman Ponsa.
Okay.
We are peacefully on. For now, we are finished with the group, and there are some that they said there are issues. So after the break, we'll address them.
So this is the Suhum constituency?
Sure, Suhum constituency.
How many polling centers in all?
165 plus the special voting, so 166.
In all, how many can you tell us that you've exhausted so far?
We have done more than 100.
Okay. Yeah. So probably in the next 1 hour, 2 hours, we should be leaving, or we should be done with the Suhum constituency.
Sure. Thank you.
How did you find this task of being a returning officer? I mean, you are contributing your quota to Ghana. This is what you volunteered to do. But from Saturday till now, you've not been able to, carry through until you got into where the security is so heightened to undertake your exercise in this manner. How will you describe the entire process?
Oh, it's okay. We are on, and we'll surely get there. Thank you.
What's happening in the constituency that you got to the Accra Center now?
That I want to rest small, so let me keep my voice so that when they come back, I continue. When we are done, you come back.
Thank you very much. So that is the returning officer for the Suhum constituency, deputy returning officer, helping to collate the over 100 pink sheets here at the police depot. And it's been quite a very tedious job because the parties or the agents do not always agree on the way forward sometimes, and that brings a lot of confusion. But when they come in with some of the rules of engagement, then they are able to proceed from where it is. Are you with the NPP or with the NDC? You are with the NDC. Good. From the Suhum constituency, right? Good. Tell us, how has the process been so far?
So far, I think it's okay. We are waiting to continue with the process.
How many have you done so far?
I think we've done about 116.
What brought about the confusion in Suhum that led to the collation or re-collation of your results here in Accra?
The whole thing started when we realized when we started the collation there was a lot of irregularities regarding the pink sheets. If you look at it, the pink sheets that we didn't have issues with, those are the ones we finished collating, and the ones that have issues with are the ones stockpiled on the table. Some of the parties were not having pink sheets at all. So at the first time, collating them was difficult because the rules of the EC, if you don't have pink sheets, you can't challenge figures. NPP were not having pink sheets at all. So
all the over 100 police?
They were not having pink sheets at all.
What led to that?
We can't tell. I think the first time when the issue started, their counsel, their head of legal said that they've kept their pink sheet for strategic purposes. So I remember I told him that some of the strategic purposes is now that we are having disputes. So they should go to their safe and go and bring the pink sheet. But still, when the issue moved from the Suhum to the Koforidia, still pink sheet was not available. They were still not having their pink sheet. So that stopped the process from going on. Until today that we've noticed that they've brought some photocopies to come in, and then we've asked them that since you don't have pink sheet, you don't have the original pink sheet that has been given, you can't charge anything, or you cannot challenge any figures that will come up. So so far we are not too satisfied, to be honest, with the NDCs, because all those irregularities have to be dealt with, because else the remaining polling stations, we cannot accept the results from there, because some are the issues of cancelled BVDs, some are the issues of over voting, some are issues of even those that where the summations were wrong. At the table we agreed, and then we accepted those that summations are wrong, and then we asked the returning officers to correct it on our various pink sheets, which just to make the process continue smoothly. But the ones that have some serious irregularities, I don't think we will accept and then continue with those ones. So we'll now come and discuss and see the way forward on those.
What is your confidence level when it comes to the Suhum constituency now?
Our confidence level is high. We NDC from onset, we are poised on taking the seat. And for all indications shows that we are winning, and that is why the irregularities are coming in, and much from the NPP side to make sure that they twist the system so to their favor. But by the end of today, we will know what exactly is the way forward. But we are not conceding defeat for that one. We don't want to concede defeat.
Well, you've done your own internal collation, and it seems to me that you know where the figures or the balance of power is tilting towards, and already you are saying you don't want to concede defeat. Tell me, what did you get from your side in terms of collation, and what is it pointing to?
When we did our collation, we were okay. We were very okay.
Okay in terms of what?
I don't want to say anything that, but we're okay. We are confident in what we are doing. That is why we will come all the way to this place. We started from Suhum, we've gone to the region, and some of the things that is going on is not pleasant. The EC, I'm sorry to say that EC have to. I will not generalize it, but some people have to be very careful with the way they are doing their things. Today, something happened which is not pleasant, and those are some of the things we are also going to raise issues against. Because on Koforidia on Tuesday, when we stopped the collation, we all escorted the pink sheets and the gadgets to the armory, the regional armory. And this morning, when we were going to the time we got to the armory to bring the things out of the armory, that everything has been brought out without the presence of any of the parties, with the exception of NPP. MPPs and their people, including the candidate, were there, and the deputy EC for Eastern Region even asked them that where are the NDCs, where are the other parties?
They are not accountable for you if you did not turn up early enough, because obviously you're all working with time. If you were to show up at a particular time and you didn't turn up, just like we've witnessed earlier today.
The time that was given, we were told at 6 a.m. the things will be brought from the armory. We were there before 6, and it was already out. Even it wasn't like it was out, but they were on their way. So we needed to stop the convoy and question them, and that was what the regional EC said, that he wasn't aware. So you can see that right from onset, there are a lot of things that is going on, trying to change. But
even though they actually, as you alleged, but coming here, you've not really seen any manipulation of the sort in terms of.
We've seen them. That is why we brought a lot of to iron them out. We've seen
your full name and your position.
I'm Reverend James Bacha. I'm the spokesperson for the candidate.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. So that is a rep from the National Democratic Congress giving us or bringing us up to speed with how far they have gone regarding their collation from the constituency in Suhum, moved all the way to Koforidua, which is collation couldn't continue or it wasn't successful. And so today they are in Accra just to basically have that collation done at the police training depot. And it's been moving on smoothly so far, thanks to the massive presence of the police personnel on duty, ensuring that there is law and order. So this is the Suhum Collation Center. Suhum is in the Eastern Region, and this is their collation center. To my right is where we have the Nsawam collation. A rep from NPP, we can engage briefly on happenings so far. Well, so the NPP is asking, or NPP agents are asking that when they finish with everything, they'll be able to speak to us on the record. I mean, the coalition is still continuing here on the side when it comes to the Nsawam case. You see the NDC at the far end, electoral officers present, and now I can see that they are moving with a certain level of speed, basically because they've all now agreed on the modalities and the rules. If you don't have a pink sheet, you note it down for the EC, and NDC would now proceed to continue with theirs. If NDC doesn't, he has it, they will mention it. EC will compare that to their figure and then make progress. So far, so good. On the table here for the Nsawam constituency, quote them for the collection exercise to continue.
2504. One in room. 2504. One in room. Macho Enko. 2504. NPP 92. GFP 0. NDC 120. Golo 0. Mustafa 0. Total valid votes 212. Rejected 6. Inbox 218. (1404B). 1404B. Market Square, Noka. 1404B. Market Square, Noka.
Yeah, 14.
1404B.
Not my friend, so. 1404.
Okay. NPP 114. GFP 0. NDC 107. Golo 1. Mustafa 1. Total valid votes 223. Rejected 3. 226.
Yes, I've entered.
1006. 1006. 1006. Post office, Kotokori line, Advertisements.
100.
1, yes, E1 01006.
10.
E1 01006. Yanko, Pamcho. 1404. 14048. 14048. 14048. 14048.
More.
14048. Market Square Local. Which one is good for young folk? Okay. 14048. Okay. NPP 148. GFP 0. NDC 100. Golo 0. Mustafa 0. Total valid votes 248. Rejected 4. Total inbox 252. E1004068. 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 Anglican A and B JHS. 406. 406. Okra 406. E10 04. 406A. E. 406A. Yeah.
Grateful that you stayed on with us. This is the Election Bureau here on Channel Television. We've been bringing you live pictures from the re-collation, I must say, re-collation of some parliamentary results for 4 disputed constituencies in the eastern region. Now, these 4 constituencies, Fantiakwa North, Akwatia, Suhum, and Suhum Adwajiri, have been, well, both parties, the NDC and the NPP, have claimed victory to these seats, and so these seats have come under contention. So far, 2 declarations have been made, all going in favor of the New Patriotic Party, NPP. This will be Fantiakwa North and Akwatia. Still Suhum to go. There's still Suhum Adwajiri to go, whose results are being recollated at the moment from the National Police Training School here at Tesano in Accra. My name is Nana Tufuo Boateng. The Situation Room is up next on Channel 1 Television, and of course, Situation Room will also be bringing you live pictures from that recollation of the parliament results for those disputed constituencies in the eastern region. Stay with us. Keep watching Channel 1 Television.
Really?
It's unmatched entertainment for the whole family.
Yes.
GoTV brings the joy anytime, anywhere. Get your festive season sorted. Get GoTV.
They are the trailblazers, the pioneers, the unsung heroines who break barriers and set new standards.
Hello there, welcome to The Woman in You with me, Zoe Abubeidwado. Now, this is a show that celebrates the extraordinary resilience, strength, and leadership of women
everywhere. From the pioneers in enterprise, politics, and health, their stories are our stories.
I was very satisfied with doing something very little. But when my mother introduced the eggs and I started, it kept me so busy that I had to be there in the morning, afternoon, and evening.
I had been playing around with the different facets of it, and I realized, listen, I'm really onto something. I decided to formalize it, and I formalized it probably after, just navigating the space and doing different things and trying my hand at different things probably played around with it for like a good 5 years before I formalized it.
Be inspired, be empowered, be the woman you were born to be.
Join me, Zoe Abubeduado, every week on Channel 1 TV as we celebrate these women who inspire, empower, and lead by example. It's time to celebrate the woman in you.
The Woman in You with Zoe airs Sundays at 6 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
To a rich breakfast full of variety.
When you're scrumptious watching with an energetic, use Review.
Right, eat your buffalo alongside uplifting and informative lifestyle conversations.
It's me, Chris Carter. Spend your mornings with me.
Or you can enjoy your mornings with me, Jifa KD Akuto.
And have breakfast with me, David Kwekusechi, right here on Breakfast Daily, every Monday to Friday, from 7:25 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Get ready for the ultimate celebration of the year. The Situation All White Christmas Party 2024. This Christmas Eve, join us at the Situation All White Christmas Party for a night of unforgettable vibes. Date 24th December 2024. Time 8 p.m. Location The Underbridge, East Legon. Expect nothing but pure magic as we light up the night with incredible performances from Keche, the hitmakers who know how to get you moving. Isakede, Ghana's Soul Master, with melodies that will take you to another world. Inchin Band, a live performance experience like no other. DJ Mingo, the party maestro, keeping the beats flowing all night. I've done it best, bringing the energy to keep the crowd jumping. And MOG, leading us in spirit-filled worshiping style. Dress code all white. Let's shine together in style. It's going to be a night to remember, full of music, dance, and festive spirit. Don't miss out on the hottest party of the season, the party that shuts down all parties. Call 0205-973-973 for table reservations and get ready to party. It's going to be lit at the Underbridge. The Situation All White Christmas Party 2024 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 City FM and proudly sponsored by Carlsberg Beer, Kiss Drinks, Series, Bell Ice, Verve Duvernay, Bushmills Irish Whiskey, and Blue Jeans Energy Drink.
National Thanksgiving Thanksgiving service for Ghana. Ampa, Onyameni Ghana Diniye. Amen. National President Oda Aglo International no. Any executive the Anije Eka Obibiase. National Thanksgiving service for Ghana. Aforibo Kasie 2024 Basso. Mimne that 21st December. Wa Blaster Square cry. And upon also 7 a.m. prompt. Team, come and see what the Lord has done. Psalm 66 verse 5. Music ministration, award-winning SCP Kofi Sapon, Very Reverend Dr. Clara Damkwa, DJ Paloma, Aglo Kwa, and Aglo Tambourine Choirs from the regions. Mwafadye enye anything Ghana. For Vuvuzela, tambourine, anywhere handkerchief bra, niye mbomo and celebrate ye nyankopo, when ya wayama ye my Ghana. Be aglow for Jesus.
Yeah, welcome to the Situation Room. Thank you for joining us for another edition of the Situation Room. The 2024 elections are over, but there are still a number of parliamentary constituencies to be declared. The presidential winner has been declared by the Electoral Commissioner, and we all know that the next president for the next 4 years is John Mahama. On today's edition of The Situation, we're looking at all the regions or all the constituencies up north, from Savannah, Upper East, Upper West, Northeast, as well as the Northern region. Who won what and what does it look like in terms of the seats in Parliament for the next Parliament we'll see. We'll be right back. Don't go away. So welcome back to the Situation Room. My name is Vivian Kai Loko. I'll be the captain of the ship, cruising you through to the northern part of the country, where we'll look at the figures and the seats going to the NDC and the NPP for the 2024 parliamentary elections. In the studio, I have the usual suspect, Samiri Afi. He will be taking us on the dashboard as we look at the flip to the green for these areas. Samiri, welcome.
Hello, Vivian.
And joining us today for the first time is a gentleman who covered the Savannah region for us. Later, we'll go to all other reporters who covered the different regions around the north for us as well. But now we have Tajuddin Abdullah. He was in charge of the Savannah region for us for the 2024 elections. Tajuddin, welcome.
Thank you.
How was the trip? When did you return? Today?
I returned this afternoon.
Okay. How was it? It was chaotic at Damango. I saw you, you know, running all over the place. You were scared, right?
Of course I was. I mean, if you hear gunshots,
what really happened?
Right, so...
and if we can pull, Fred, if we can pull some of the videos for us, I'll be grateful.
Right.
I know I didn't tell you this, but...
So, on the day of election, everything was calm in the morning.
Yeah.
I had visited most of the polling stations, and I reported on that.
Yeah.
There were no pockets of violence, recorded at most of the polling stations. Okay. So voting was smooth, and there was heavy security presence. I mean, you wouldn't have the laxity to misbehave. I mean, if you intended to. And so everything was smooth.
So that means they had an idea for Damango that there will be some skirmishes. Is that what it is?
Well, you couldn't
usually
tell.
Damango comes with heavy security.
Exactly, but then
years.
it's relatively very calm.
Okay.
Because you don't, over the time, if you trace the historical antecedents of how elections have evolved in Damango, it's largely been peaceful. So there are no issues of confusion recorded here and there. So it was when we got to when the results from the respective police stations were declared, and then we now had to move to the Constituency Collation Center, was where the confusion erupted. Okay. And so as at 10 p.m. at the District Court Collation Center, that was when the collation had begun for the Damango.
This was on Saturday or on Sunday?
This was on
Saturday,
the Saturday,
the day of the election.
Yes, on the day of the elections. So 10 p.m., that was when collation had begun. So first, we have 91 polling stations. And what they do is that the EC would have to verify each pink sheet that, from the respective polling stations before the collation can start. Yeah. And so 10 p.m., collation had begun. And midway through the collation, there were a group of, the angry youth had massed up outside the collation center.
And what were they angry about?
They were angry about the fact that the results was taking too long for
the declaration.
For the declaration. They say that in 2020, as at 12 midnight, they knew who had won the election relative to parliamentary and presidential. Yeah. And so the delay infuriated them because they thought that there was some skirmishes being perpetrated by the Electoral Commission and members of the NPP. Okay. Right. So they pelted stones at us. They forcefully entered the collation room, and then thankfully the military presence there stopped.
Prevented any form of
absolutely. So it solved the entire, it calmed down the entire situation, and then we stopped counting the collation till the next morning. So we're just sitting there.
So you guys didn't leave?
We didn't leave. Everyone was there. I mean, everyone was there.
At that point, the main candidates, were they there?
They were not there.
They were not.
It was their representatives who were there. And so, in the morning, counting started again at 10 a.m. But then the military had come to see how things, were going and all of that, together with the policemen who were stationed there. In fact, the policemen had been stationed there till the next morning. Like then again with the military, because after the first attempt by the youth to, destabilize the place, they, were around to ensure that there's everything.
So the police
they did. And so the youth then said that they were not enthused about the presence of the military at the collation center. So the military ought to leave. They say that according to the law, that the military, personnel are not allowed to be at the collation center. It's the policemen who are allowed to be there.
Yeah, but the police can call for reinforcement.
Yes,
is that to mean
the police
that
did
the
call
police,
for?
Yes,
yes, the police did call for reinforcement. Okay. And then the youth still insisted that the military men, leave the place, and then left. Just as when they left, an hour after they had left the collation center, and then collation, had continued. So we actually continued from where we left off because of the earlier, disruption in the on Saturday. We had to pause, and then we continued from where, we had collated up to. So an hour after the military had left, then the angry youth barged into the collation center, destroyed the pink sheet, destroyed the ballot boxes that were there. Every material that had to do with the elections was destroyed. Wow. In fact, a motorbike was also burnt as a result of the confusion that had erupted. And that was when I saw, gunshots being fired here and there, because one of the youth had rushed to the district commander, the regional commander, police commander, with a stone, attempting to hit him. With the stone. And then the police started firing, gunshots. And then the military also eventually came. So we all had to run for our lives. It was very chaotic, and it was not a pleasant
at that point,
situation.
Those at the collation center started leaving, including the EC officials and
of course,
the agents of the political parties.
Yes, but I mean, with how the thing started and how they barged into entered into the collation center, you didn't expect it. And we didn't see it coming. Yeah. We just saw them, moving to and fro and all of that. And all of a sudden,
they rushed,
and then everything was destroyed. Chairs, machines that were used for the collation were all destroyed. Yeah. And then, in fact, the municipal EC director, he in the course of he trying to escape, fell down, and then the youth, pounced on him, they beat him, and he ran into coma. He
went
into coma. Yeah,
so he's still in coma. He's better.
No, he's recovering based on my interaction with the regional coalition EC director.
Oh God.
Yeah, so he was rushed to the Damango Catholic Hospital by the police vehicle, and then subsequent to that, he was transferred to the Tamale Teaching Hospital.
And were these NPP supporters or NDC supporters?
Okay, so you see,
it was a mixture.
It was a mixture. So you're only exactly. Exactly, they were all agitated, and so in the morning when I got to the regional coalition center, I asked how the municipal director was doing, and then the regional director told me that he had spoken to him in the morning, and then he was recovering. But it wasn't a pleasant sight to behold, to be honest.
So at that point, the pink sheets had been destroyed,
yes.
the coalition center, furniture, all that. And then what happened? How did we get to the declaration? Right. So at the regional coalition center, the parties were called. The regional EC director called the parties to come so that they could, there was a RIPAC meeting, a regional inter-party advisory committee meeting that was called to, as it were, agree on what to do, and also for the EC to communicate its position to the respective parties on the way forward, because it was delaying, and then the tension was rife. People kept asking when the results will be out and all of that, and so they needed to have had a meeting to ascertain how they will go about the whole issue. So the respective representatives for the parties came. The NPP regional chairman was there, Professor Kalmonia was there, the NDC regional chairman was there together with the secretary lawyer Biaworbi, and the NPP constituency executives. They were also there, and in fact CPP was there as well. The representative for the CPP was there, and so they signed an undertaking that they were going to collate the results, i.e. presidential and parliamentary, and that they were going to declare the winner for each of the the presidential and the
absolutely, and that in an instance where a political party is unable to produce all their pink sheet, they would revert to the minister in Accra to take a decision on what to do, and that was the undertaking that was signed at the regional coalition center based on the RIPAC meeting that was held by the EC and the stakeholders.
So the distraction of because in the end they did go ahead and declare.
Yes.
So meaning that the pink sheets for all the three parties, it was intact for them?
No, the NPP had their pink sheet.
Okay.
Strangely, the one who was, manning the sheet for the NPP in terms of the coalition, he managed to vote. He absconded with the pink sheet. So nobody, he was no. No,
he left. Because if he said absconded, like he stole something.
He left. He left.
So he left with his pink sheet.
Yes, with his pink sheet.
The NDC's own was destroyed.
Partly.
Okay.
Some of them were destroyed, and so they didn't have all.
Oh, okay.
They didn't have all.
What about the EC?
But the EC, they had. When you sign, they will give you the party, your pink sheet, and then the rest of the
so
the
EC.
Yes.
So that's what they used to.
Absolutely.
What was left of the NDC, that of the NPP, and then of course the EC.
Yes, yes, that was what was used for the
So when did the declaration happen? On Sunday, right?
Yes, on Sunday. So the declaration happened when coalition was done. After the RIPAC meeting and parties had agreed that the county should continue and everything. Midway to the coalition, the NDC people left the coalition center. So it was the EC and the NPP folks that,
So was that a boycott?
I can't tell if it was a boycott, because I saw them, come in as and when, and then I'll see the secretary and the chairman go out to go and judge and then come in again. But at a point, I didn't see them when they left. They never returned, and so it was just the regional EC director and the NPP folks who were doing the calculation, and the media there to ensure that there's sanity and
at a point in time, remember the general secretary of NDC issued a statement asking all their party agents to leave the various coalitions. Could that be the reason?
No. This was before.
It was before.
It was before.
Okay.
It was before the directive from the regional.
Okay. So let's look at the results, and we're interested in Damongo because I think that's the most controversial.
In the Savannah region.
The Savannah. So will take us to the dashboard in a bit, but before you get up here, I don't want you to go and stand there for long. What in the end, and you can concentrate on parliamentary.
Yes.
What were the figures?
Okay, so the Abu Jinapo.
First of all, tell us the candidates, the main candidates.
Right. So the contest was between Abu Jinapo, who is the lands minister, and Adamuta Akilu, who was
okay, Galus.
Galus, that's how he's called, Galus, and they call Jinapo Masagban.
What?
Masagban.
What does that mean?
He doesn't get tired giving.
Calm down. We don't understand the language, so take your time and say that we can be part of the thing. It's called what?
Masagban.
Masa in Goja say I give. Like give means sa means give.
Okay.
And Masagban means I don't get tired giving. So I'm too generous that I give and I
Oh,
don't get tired.
okay. It means I always give.
I always give.
Oh, so Masagbi.
That's the
I know somebody like that in this house. I think you will change his name to that.
So that's his nickname in Damango.
Yes, that's Abu Jinapo's nickname.
Okay.
Masagbi. Because I mean the people say
how do you spell that?
There's MASAGBEN.
GBEN. Oh, okay.
Yes, Masagbi.
Yes. So I mean, when you see you next time, you know what
I'll do that.
So Abu Jinapo, also known as
Akilu.
Masagbi in the area,
yes.
And then
Akilu.
Apart from the Galus, we all know him as. Is there another name?
Oh
for
no,
him? That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
So these two, yeah. Go ahead.
And so, I mean, at the end of coalition, when the regional
no other party, only the two parties contested.
It's the CPP had
a candidate,
but he support on the weight of the Advertisements, NDC.
Okay.
So eventually he wasn't part of the equation at all. Okay. So it was left between the NPP and the NDC. And so at the end of polls, when the coalition was done, Abu Jinapo of the NPP had 16,222 votes.
16,222.
And Adamu Tawakilu of the NDC had 14,425.
14,425. Okay.
But Vivian, it is also instructive to note that this declaration eventually did not go down well with Adamu Tawakilu.
Of course.
He says that he did not sanction the NPP, the NDC secretary and chairman to represent him and to even sign an undertaking on his behalf,
okay.
Because they are not his party agent and they shouldn't have signed the undertaking during the RIPAC meeting. And so he held a press conference saying that he disagrees with the declaration of the EC. In fact, he's established a 5-member committee to go and meet the regional EC director to discuss the issue, because he said that he never sanctioned the party chairman and party secretary to go and sign the sheet on his behalf. And so that has been the new development over there. I understand this afternoon he'll be having a press conference, and so I'm sure
we can pick it if I mean when they are ready. But this result,
yes.
I mean, you are from the area, you study and you get involved in the politics as well. Is this something you're expecting?
Yes, it's something I expected, but I didn't expect it to create this confusion. I mean, over time, if you look at the electoral results that have come in terms of the voting pattern or voter pattern, it's been largely the presidential, the NDC that has won. That usually wins the presidential, and the NPP is sometimes goes here and there, because if you look at from 2004 to 2008 to 2012, 16, 2020, and now 2024, the NDC does appear to have occupied majority in terms of the parliamentary representation as compared to the NPP until 2020, when Abu Jinapo came in and took over, and then 2024 as well, even though I mean it's still in contention. But
so within the was clear from your homework that it was going to go blue for the parliamentary.
It wasn't too clear.
Okay.
Because in fact, I interviewed Abu Jinapo when he came to cast his vote at the Town Park police station, and I asked him that his opponents said they were going to give him a run for his money, and what does he have to say about that? And he admitted that indeed the NDC gave him a run for his money, and he cited an example of the regional executive domiciled in Damango, and then even President John Mahama coming to Damango to President-elect coming to Damango to campaign for Adamu Tawakilu, and eventually even commissioning a palace that he built for the current Yagbonra. And so all of these events were tailored towards getting votes for Adamu Tawakilu and trying to get to the seat from Jinapo. So Jinapo acknowledged the fact that it wasn't an easy run. He acknowledged that.
He suffered some bit of agitation mid-year all the way to the end with the royal.
Yes.
What was the issue?
Right. So I mean, the issue was that they say that he was meddling too much in chieftaincy affairs. Okay. Don't forget that Jinapo himself, he's a prince. He's a prince, yeah. And his father used to be the Savannah Regional House of Chief, vice president, until the new Yagbonra came in, and then there were some changes here and there. And so he's been a very traditional boy. He's a traditional guy, you know, Prince, you know, always with his father and all of that. And so they say that he meddles too much in the chieftaincy affairs, i.e. tries to dictate, you know, certain decisions that ought to be allowed to the chief to, you know, take and all of that. And in fact, it was heightened when the president, you know, went to Damango media to see the overlord of the Goja Kingdom, Yagora, you know, Joe Sole, where it's alleged that he was asked, Yagora was asked to, you know, get up and then greet the president. And then there were rumors that Jinapor was the one who, you know, the president had sent to go and inform the Yagora to get up so that he could come and, you know, greet him. And that infuriated the people. They say that you, a son of the land, you know how the tradition is over there, and you ought not to have allowed yourself to be, you know, pushed to, you know, do something that is against the tradition.
But the chief didn't get up.
He didn't. I mean,
he did.
He didn't,
right?
He didn't. So he told the president that he wasn't going to get up. I mean, if you watch the video, he shook his head and said no. And then even the sub-chiefs that were seated close to the chief indicated that it was not right for the chief to get up and greet the president. And so all of these issues culminated into, you know, he being, you know, a bit, I mean, belligerent in terms of the people, the love that the people have for him and all of that.
But following his win, what has it been like in the constituency? Are the people happy with the outcome?
Well,
especially because we've seen green across the board.
Yes, to be honest, the people, I mean, I would say the NPP people are happy. Obviously, the NPP people are disgruntled because they thought that it should have gone their way, right? But generally, I think that the wind of change was blowing so hard and so heavy because across board, if you look at the constituencies in the Savannah region, I mean, they were all calling for change. And so it was that tough and tight. So the people really, based on my interaction with the people that I got to talk to, really wanted Adam Mutakele to win. Because, I mean, generally, if you look at the history again, sometimes when the people get used to you too much, they get tired of you and they want a new face and all of that.
Because Adam had been MP for, how many terms did he? 3?
Who?
Adam Mutakele. Two. So he lost to Chinapor.
In
2020.
And then, so they, I mean, they was just...
And he remains a very popular person in Damango.
Very influential.
He was a former DC
in fact,
for the area. So he's a very, your typical local boy. And the belief is that in 2020, Abu Jinapor came in with his influence as a deputy chief of staff. And the resources were available for him. So he more or less used money in quotes to unseat gallows. And it was one of the seats a lot of people predicted was one of the artificial seats for the NPP because of the influence of Jinapor, then coming in as a deputy chief of staff. And so going into this particular election, there was pressure on Abu to either maintain the seat for the NPP and dispel the rumor that it was an artificial seat and he won that seat through resources. But going into this particular election, he was more resourced than previous. And so he had all the resources, you know, at his disposal to ensure that the victory counts. But if you look at the figures, which Tajini will give us, compared to 2020, 2024, there was some vast difference. You know, this year, you realize he's winning by some 2,000 or so. But in the last election...
It was 2,000 plus.
Yeah, 2,000. It was about 2,000. So a lot of people felt that, you know, this was really a top fight for him. And he's been able to win. As Tajudi said, the nickname they've given him, he's a generous guy. He's a generous guy in the constituency. I've been there, you know, he's spoken to a number of people, and they can attest.
You went to Damango thing. We've not sorted that issue out.
I remember about it. I'm a roaming ambassador.
Did you go on a weekend? Yesterday, I just couldn't answer.
You know, I'm a roaming ambassador.
Okay, so I mean, you can go to the dashboard now. The Savannah has 7 constituencies, right?
Yes.
Now, the region has flipped green, leaving just one seat, which is the Damango one, to the NPP. So, Sami,
so we'll do the Savannah region, which we have here.
Yeah.
So here we go. This is the Savannah region.
Yeah.
7 constituencies, as you mentioned.
That's right.
The green NDC winning all seats, with the exception of Damango, which we are just discussing that Abu Jinapor won that particular constituency. So when you look at the data, per the voter registration that was done before the election, total was 342,435, the total registered voters. You know, at the end of the election, only 221,000 999 people were able to vote in all 7 constituencies. When you look at the chart here, you realize that the NDC won majority of the seats, which is represented here, and the NPP winning only one, which is the Damango constituency. But if you look at the previous election, which is 2020, NPP managed 3 seats. That was Damango, I think Salaga South and Daboya. Yes. And then the NDC winning 4 seats, which was
Yape Kosogo.
Yes.
Bole, Salaga South.
Salaga North and then South.
Okay, sure. But then you realize that in this year's election, NDC managed to take other ones NPP won in 2020 from them, with the exception of the Damango constituency, which we are discussing a while ago. So you realize that the NDC in this year's election really dominated. In 2020, they dominated by winning majority of the state. But this time around, they have stamped their authority in the region by winning the entire Savannah region, just leaving the Damango, which is the capital of the Savannah region, one of the newly created, regions by the president in 2018, 2019. So this is how the chart looks like. The NDC has dominated in this year's election in the Savannah region. The NPP only surviving the Damango constituency. And people are saying that if care is not taken, and looking at the gap between Abujinapo and Gallows, 2028, NDC may take over. They have held on all this while. So this is how the data looks like in the Damango, in the Savannah region, Vivian.
So Savannah is flipping almost all.
Yeah, because you realize, NDC 2, net gain 2, NPP loss gain, net loss, which is 2.
Right. Now, the region itself, it also has a, you remember Hansen, when he came back from the Ashanti region, he told me that some of the issues that we're discussing in Accra and the Ashanti region was very different. The lead up to the elections, what were the issues in the region?
Right. So, I mean, if you come to the Damango constituency, one of the leading issues and leading problems that they had, with the government has to do with the Damango Water Project. Damango Water Project. I mean, this is a project that...
But I thought they said, what's his name? Jinapol had gotten...
yes, but...
water tanks.
He brought in water tank to be supplied.
You went there.
But I mean, I have had the opportunity to see one of the thing that he's done in terms of, bringing water to the constituency. But it's not something that is sustainable. Because sometimes, especially when in the season that we are in,
the dry season,
so the water does not flow and all of that. They say that they want a permanent solution that has to do with addressing the Damango water,
What is the challenge?
So the challenge is that the dam that used to serve us, which is the Mama dam that was built by the former president Mahama's father, and this was in the late 90s, 80s, 90s thereabout. It is the dam that used to serve us, the community water, and so and it houses the Damango Agricultural College. And that's where the treatment plant, is stationed, where the water is treated and is, dispersed, to the community. But then somewhere around 2004, 2005, it ceased working and it went defunct. So it broke down. Machines were obsolete. Nothing, really was working and all of that. So it became very difficult for people to get water. And most of our dams too were drying up. And so there was no place to get water. It was only one water that was serving us called Pri. And this is en route to St. Anne's Girls Senior High School. And that's a dam that the people of Damango has survived on for years. And you have water tankers go there to fetch water to come to the community and then sell to the people. And they've lived with this for years. Because the Ghana Water Company, the water barely flows because the rivers are dried. And so it became rife. And then the people said that, look, this is a major challenge that we are facing and we want you to... not temporary solutions. We want permanent solutions for that, and that was the key issue that the people of Damango, based on to vote, and then you could see the numbers that panned out.
I remember in 2020, Vivian, when the president went to Damango to go and campaign for Abujinapo, it was one of the promises the president had made that they were going to solve this Damango water challenge, and that if Abujinapo is elected as a member of parliament, because he's in government, it will make the facilitation of the project so easy. So going into the election in 2020, that was the hopes of a lot of people within the Damango constituency. Fast forward 2024, the water project has still not been solved. And one of the key issues that the people in there were looking out for, as our brother here has said. And so it was one of the campaign messages Gallows was using against Abu Jinapo and the NPP in the constituency.
He himself, he suffered the loss based on the water thing. I remember at the time. Yeah.
And almost everywhere that you visit within Damango, you see the Kufo gallons. You know, they are scattered all over the place. You go to even the hospital. I think the West Gonja Municipal Hospital also. Yes, you will see these gallons there. Yes. You know, go to the Regional Coordinating Council. You find all these things there. So it was really a challenge for them as far as water issue was concerned. And it is expectation of the residents there that now that he's been given another term, he will do his best to solve this water challenge, because the polytank, you know, transportation of water wasn't really helping the situation at all. It wasn't, because it gets to a time some people will get the water, some others will not also get, and it wasn't like a rationing of water in the area. And you know, when you ration water, you know the situation. So Abu, the people are giving you a second chance. Use your influence to make sure that the water situation is sorted out
now
for
that
them. His government is not in power.
Then he has to look for
his
private
help. His brother will be in power.
Rather we think of his
brother will be in power.
and that's the issue. So I remember when we were at the collation center, when midway through the counting, the collation, that was when Dr. Bawumia, you know, considered defeat to Mohammed, and that escalated the whole thing, and you had members of the NDC massed up because they were jubilating. And they said that, listen, we now have the presidency, and so if you want to insist on being a member of parliament, or if you are declared a member of parliament, at the end of the day, you cannot go to parliament under the ticket, on the ticket of the NPP, and then it's an NDC government in power, and so development will be stalled in a way. But I mean, I think that we should, as a people, we should look beyond these things and then, you know, have the people's interests at heart, and then ensure that we do what they want.
Okay, Tajudeen, stay with us for a few minutes. We'll come to you, but I want to go to Mohammed M. Alabira. He was our man in charge of the northeast area, and he'll give us some details as well over that place. Alabira, if you can hear me, welcome to Situation Room.
Thank you very much, boss.
All right. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I am doing well.
I can see that. So a very interesting contest in some of the constituencies that you covered, right? How did it go for you? Which ones were your surprises for the area?
Thank you very much. I covered the northeastern corridor, that is in the northern region through to northeast region. And a lot of surprises actually happened. From the northeastern corridor, I covered from Pandai constituency, Wulensi, Bimbila, Yendi, Nyang, Saboba, Tatali, and then Zabzugu. That is northern region. Then Gushagu too is there. Then from there to northeast. And here, from Pandai, I want to start from Pandai. Yeah, from Pandai, the incumbent or the former MP and former majority chief whip, Honorable Nyindam, he came back again, beating the incumbent MP for the area. Nsala. Nsala is the name. He beat Daniel Nsala. He beat him. And then Wulensi too. Another interesting thing happened in Wulensi. Well, let me give you the figures for Matthew Nyindam and then Nsala, and one down for Eric Nepane. Matthew Nyindam came back. He actually, the first time, it was a surprise for many that he actually lost the 2020 elections. So this time, why I say so is that initially Pandai district didn't have a party office, and then water to many of the communities.
So this guy is what party? Alaji, this is it Matthew? Which party? The NPP or
Matthew Nyindam, NPP.
Okay.
NPP, yes.
So that's
Matthew
he was
Nyindam,
the
NPP,
incumbent.
yes. No, he came back. Daniel Nsala is the incumbent of NDC.
Okay, all right.
So NDC won the constituency in 2000 elections.
Okay.
And Matthew Nyindam came back and beat him with 27,947 votes as against 24,213.
Okay. So how did it
that
go?
Is for
right.
Daniel Nsala and Martin Mindam.
Okay. The win for Matthew, is it based on the wind of change, or he did something differently which led to that? Because you said most of you were pretty surprised he was able to take that seat.
Yes. Yes, that is what I'm saying. It was not the win of change because he is NPP, and he came back and won the seat again. Why I said so is that his touch with the people on the ground was something that made him win the seat, because he actually extended electricity to so many communities in the area, and also drilled a number of boreholes for them. So the people actually felt that he was their man on the ground. So that was why he actually won the seat for the NPP in Pandai district.
Okay, so he had brought some bit
in
of
the
development.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Sure, he brought development to the people there in the Pandai district. Yes, in the Wulensi district, that is where the interesting thing happened. Wulensi district, MPP fielded Haruna Abdullahi. You know, he's with the telecom, the Vodafone thing. He is with them, and then the incumbent was Abukar Dawuni. Then an independent from the MDC stock came. Boss, one interesting thing here: Abdullahi Haruna, Abukar Dawuni. They were both from the Nanumba tribe. You know, here a tribal politics came in there at the Wulensi side. So Haruna Abdullahi and Abukar Dawuni, the incumbent, are both Nanumbes.
Okay.
That Nandaya Yao Stanley is a concomba in the community, and you know here the concomba population here. So it was assumed that the vote of the Nanumbes divided between Haruna and then Abukar Dawuni. So the independent guy who was coming from the NDC, he actually won. And the votes or the figures were Haruna Abdullahi had 11,137. Then Abukar Dawuni, the incumbent, he had 11,498. Then Nandaya Yao Stanley, the independent guy, he had 17,432 votes. That was what happened.
So
then
with him,
we came to Bibila.
Please hold on for me with the Wulensi. So you're saying that the Wulensi, the win came from the numbers from the Kokomba tribe. That's it.
Yes. The Nandaya Yao Stanley, an independent candidate, he won in Wulensi.
Now, in your, I know that prior to the election,
NDC, MPP.
Yeah, I know that prior to the election, you had moved around and all that. Some of these constituencies, you had gauged the level of interest or how things would sway. And you knew the numbers in terms of the Kokomba people having more numbers as against the Nanumba side. It didn't hit at that time from your rounds and from discussions you had with people that this may go towards the independent candidate, Stanley.
Yes, that was what from my engagements and things. Even the party, NDC party, because Abukar Dawuni, the incumbent MP, he is from NDC. Even when the president-elect now came to the area to Wulensi, he actually made a comment about it. So the party knew that no, the independent candidate was going to cause trouble for them. Because he actually pleaded with him, the president-elect actually pleaded with him to step down and give way to Abukar Dawuni to continue. But the man could not listen. So he knew that he was going to win. And that was actually what happened.
Why did he go independent?
Abukar Dawuni.
Why did he go independent?
But like I'm saying, interestingly, Wulensi constituency was something very interesting, because if you look at the MP party, when what's the name? Not Martin, Ogaja, Thomas Ogaja, the former MP for the place, when he was a concomber, when he lost the DCE, Abubakar Dawuni won in Nanumba. Then the DCE over there was Yusuf, Abubakar Yusuf over. He also in Nanumba. So it became obvious that concombers have no position in Woolensey constituency. So just in the some few months to the election, the NPP realizing this thing took away the DCE for Woolensey and brought in a concomber DCE who was just for 2 or 3 months as a DCE in the place. So the concombers in the Woolensey constituency felt that no, they have no, stake in anything. Because if you look at the candidates, they were all coming from Nanumba area, and then they have no stake. So the independent guys said no. Then it's good that we also fill. The concombers said no. Then it's good that we also fill an independent candidate who maybe they will all come together to actually vote for him. And this was what actually happened in Woolensey. The concombers actually voted for one of their own in the area.
All right, okay. So we can move to the next area of surprise for you after Woolensey.
The next one was Bimbilla.
Okay.
Bimbilla too, the incumbent MP, Dominic Nitwol, and Defense Minister. He has been there for a very long time, since 2008 till now, 2009 to date. Yeah, he's been there. And, we did a report about Bimbilla constituency when we were gauging the mood and things. It became obvious that no, even if you come to the constituency on the ground, you will see that no, Nitwol has not done well as compared to other first-time MPs in other areas.
That's like in terms of development. That's in terms of development. Okay.
In terms of development, yes. If you come to Bimbilla, it's just a week to election or something that they come to work on Bimbilla town rules. And that is what has happened. So people were actually angry with him that no, this time if care is not taken, he will go. And the interesting thing is that both the NDC and NPP, they also fielded concomber candidates. Because Nitwol is a concomber, and then the NDC also Roxon, who is also a concomber. So the vote difference or the tried to tell the election was going to come from Bimbilla town. And already Bimbilla town were annoyed or they were aggrieved with Nitwol. So actually in Bimbilla town, they actually voted for Dr. Mambua Roxon. But surprisingly, the concombers, instead of voting for what's the name? Mambua Roxon, caused the change. Mambua Roxon, to have caused the change, they actually voted for Nitwol. This is because they say, as it is said in the language, that if you have a tree by your house, if it does not give you fruit, at least for shade there, you always have the shade to sit under.
Okay.
So they think that if Nitwol has the power that he has and he's not supporting them as concombers, he's still seen there as a concomber man occupying that place. So that was why they actually voted for the concombers. Actually went for him.
What were the figures for him? I'm sure his margin closed up. Can you take us through the figures for Bimbilla?
Yes, the figures for Bimbilla for Dominic Nitwol was 34,553. 34,553. Against Mambua Roxon, 29,240.
Okay. That's a close one, isn't it?
Yes. But still on the tribal, PPP, that is the Progressive People's Party, they also fielded a Nanumba candidate by name Ataswale. Maybe with this, they thought if the concombers votes were divided between Nitwol and Mambua Roxon, Ataswale being a Nanumba, maybe the Nanumbers would have gone for him. So Ataswale, he got 2,381. Then an independent candidate, Bamampong Kamil, he had only 7,050.
He was coming from what stock? Yes. The NDC or the NPP stock? The independent candidate? Or
he was yeah. From well, this thing wasn't clear to me.
Okay. Okay. So yes, in the end, Dominic Nitiwul, current defense minister,
Dominic Nitiwul won by 34,553 votes.
All right. Okay. So let's move to your next.
From Bimbila, we go to Yendi.
Yeah, I'm sure Yendi is your favorite place, isn't it?
that is my favorite place. Yes.
That's right. Please carry on.
Yes, Yendi, the incumbent Farouk Aliu Mahama, as he was popularly called, Talk and Do.
Talk and what? Talk and Do. Okay.
They used, that was the name they were calling him. Talk and Do. Yes, but he actually failed this time. Yeah, he had 30,441 against NDC Abdel Fattah Jofa, the young lawyer. He had 30,770. Then an independent Hussein Abdul Karim Labani, he had 4,325. Yendi, two interesting things happened there. You know, the president in 2019 took the overlord to the Gabon State football field. That he was going to, he took him there, cut a short for the Yendi water project. And 4 years down the line, nothing has happened in Yendi. The people of Yendi still struggle for water.
Wow.
So the people of Yendi, every day, that was their cry, asking that, no, Yendi water project is something that they needed. But no, till we voted, nothing of that sort happened. So it was one of the factors that caused the defeat of NPP Farouk in the constituency there. Aside the the national issue which has to do with water, personally, Farouk himself had troubles with almost all the party executives in the constituency.
Well, what kind of troubles?
Yes, yes. One, within the party, the party was not united behind the Farouk. You know, when they went for the contest, it wasn't clear. The primary, sorry, it wasn't clear. He and Abibat Ashani, it was not clear that he actually won because the votes were never counted. So later, it was the party that decided for Farouk, and that actually made people in Yendi to be so annoyed. So it was obvious that the people of the supporters of Abibat Ashani was not in support for him. Again, the independent candidate Hussein Abdel Karim Jofa, actually, what made him to come out from to come for the the independent candidature was that it was the disagreement between him and Farouk. He was the assemblyman for the area. He lived in the same area with Farouk. So, and he was a former presiding member for Yendi municipal listen. So when he was going for the next election as the assemblyman, Farouk actually sponsored someone to contest him for the assemblyman position.
Okay.
Luckily, this man won the assemblyman position. And when they came to, till we speak now, Yendi has no presiding member for the municipality.
Wow.
When they went to the assembly, Farouk again allegedly sponsored someone to contest this guy for the presiding membership position. They went twice, they both could not get the votes, so they stepped down. So this guy became annoyed, saying that no, if this is what Farouk is doing to him, because in the last election, there were his supporters. This guy was a supporter of Farouk in the last election. So he said, no, if this is the case this time, then if the party could make you stand against Abibata, then I am also coming as independent. And he actually came as independent. In the end, from the NPP stock, he's coming from the NPP stock. So in the end, he had 4,325 votes. So if these votes were to be added to Farouk, definitely Farouk would have won. But
And also, if you add, I'm sure Abibata's votes as well from her supporters, it will have been good for Farouk as well.
For Farouk, yes, yes. So from there, Miang is another place. You know, previously Miang is an NDC seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just last 2020 that Musa Abdelaziz Ayaba, the current deputy fisheries minister, he actually won the place for NPP. But this time round, he has also, the NDC had come back for it again. He lost it to Misbah Muhammad Adam. Musa Abdelaziz had 8,066. As against Misbah Muhammad Adam, who had 20,273. That is for Miang constituency.
How did the win happen? How was he able to win from where you stand?
But I can't hear you, sir.
I'm saying that how was he able to win?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me now? Hello, Alaji, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you now.
I was saying that for Mio, how did the winner win? What do you think went in the favor of this person to have won that seat?
Thank you. One, a lot of factors here came in. You know, previously, Yendi, Miang, or in Dagong in general, the chieftaincy was one thing that was playing out there. The Abudu and Dani, this thing was something that was very strong in Dagong, and Miang was not excluded. Musa Abdelaziz Jofa, you know, somehow he's a young guy there, and well, I should not be saying it, excuse my language. Yes, the issue of MPP were power drunk, arrogance, and things was one thing that one could not take out of the place. The young people felt that no, this guy was so arrogant to them. He wasn't respecting in other way and other things, and they felt that Misbah was someone who is always with them. He's from the constituency, and he always in the evening like this time you will see him with the youth and other things. So the youth felt that no, this guy is rather humble than Aziz. So no, because this time after the chieftaincy, no, the chieftaincy issue is dead in Dagong, so that could not play. But it has to do with your personal relationship with the people, and the people felt that yes, Misbah is more closer to them than Aziz.
Okay.
And already Miang was NDC, so why don't we go back for our own?
Okay.
That was why they actually voted for him.
Okay.
Yes. Gushagu. Yes. Gushagu. Yes. You know, previously, Gushagu was another interesting place to watch, but the expectations of many did not come through. You know, Gushagu, to the internal party, this thing was there. Because within NPP, they were not united in Gushagu. So Muhammad Yusuf Malmali, the NDC candidate, thought that he could leverage on that to take the seat. But unfortunately, Honorable Tampuli still maintained his seat. He won by 30,490 votes, as against 29,000. The range was very close, 29,225 votes. So 29,30,000. Yeah, that was the margin there.
Okay.
And boss, another interesting place, Zabzugu.
Okay.
Where the current Deputy Chief of Staff, Fawaz Aliyu, went against he went on the ticket of MPP against the former MP Umar Alasan Abako. The campaign message for Abako was just that Fawaz was not from the constituency.
Where is Fawaz from?
That he was not. Well, Fawaz says he is from one of the communities in the Zabzugu constituency called Warbogu. But from all things, when they traced everything, people actually said he was never from that place. It was just that maybe he wanted to use the power that he has to come and take the seat from them. Okay. So their main message was that where is he from?
Okay, today we are learning a lot.
Where is he from?
Okay. All right.
Yeah, where is he from? They think that no, Fawaz was not from Zabzugu, so they could not have thrown away their seat. So they actually went back for their own, Umar Alat and Abako. And actually, if Zabzugu constituency, that was here. And again, the last election, where the former deputy Northern Regional Minister and current MP, the name is the name that I forgot. Zabzugu, to the last election, they didn't finish counting the votes or collecting the votes over the declaration was done somewhere in the night in a room somewhere in Tamale.
Okay.
So the people in Zabzugu were still aggrieved that no, they were stolen.
Okay.
That the results over there were stolen for the John Jebali. John Jebali is the name of the current MP and former deputy Northern Regional Minister. Yes. So
Abako pulled how much against Aliu?
Abako Farouk Fawaz had 15,175. The rate too was very close. Against Abako, 15,508.
Okay. All right. That's pretty close.
And then there was also an independent candidate there, Obore Solomon.
Okay.
He had 5,132 votes.
Okay. And Obore is coming from what stock?
Yes.
Is he coming from
Tribal? He's coming. Tribal. He's a concomba.
Okay.
Fawaz and Abako, they are Dagombes.
All right. So what's the population that are the Dagombes more than the other side?
Well, I have not actually looked at that, but the Concombes has a population.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's for Zabzugu.
Yes. For Zabzugu.
Okay.
The next is Tatale Sangule.
Yeah.
Yes. Tatale Sangule, it was a race between the incumbent MP, Thomas Mbomba. And Thomas Mbomba, he is currently the Deputy Minister of Roads. Over there too, infrastructure was something that played out over there. And, just a week or 2 weeks to the election, we did a report at Njobilbo community about their school infrastructure there, where it was ripped off some years back, and the MP promised to do something. Till date, it hasn't been done. So infrastructure was something there, and road infrastructure is something that was serious there. And they measured the current MP's own attitude. Because from Zabzugu, you can get a road to his community, Nahile. The current MP is coming from a community called Nahile.
Okay.
Then from Tatali town is up to the place you get. So because he being the deputy minister of road, has actually made the two roads, that is from Zabzugu to Nahile and from Nahile to Tatali, very much trouble.
Okay.
Very, very to his community, because I think for his own benefit, the roads there are very good.
Okay.
But from Nahili to Njobilibo community.
Alabira, can you reposition yourself? We have lost audio with you. Okay, so I will.
Okay. To get to the community.
Alaji, if you can go through what you were saying with the Deputy Minister of Roads, we lost you at the point that you said he had done the roads in his community proper.
Yes. Thank you, boss. Yes, I am saying that in his community, actually, I visited the community, and the community actually access roads to the place is very good. From the community, you can move. The road that will take you to Tatali is good. The road that will take you to Zabzugu, that one too is very good. because he is the deputy minister, he has made it himself. For his own comfort. So the people were actually looking at that. And in Zabzugu, in Taltali community, there are two major tribes there: the Konkombes, and then what's the name? Oh, the other tribe. They are brothers. They are brothers. They are just like Asantis and Fantis. They both understand each other's language there.
Okay.
Yes, and Thomas Mbomba is coming from the Konkomba stock. So he went against Ntebe Ayo Williams of the NDC, who is also coming from the other tribe.
Okay.
So the people felt that, no, this guy is not, developing them. So in the end, he actually lost by 15,000. He had 15,590 as against Ntebe Ayo Williams, 16,459.
Okay.
That is the votes he had. And boss, this is the northeastern corridor.
Yeah.
The constituencies I covered for the northeastern corridor.
Okay.
Yes. Then to northeast region. I don't know if we still have time.
Okay.
To northeast region.
So allow you me. Minutes. I need to make money so I can pay you well. So let me take a quick break and get some ads to play, and then I'll come to you. So please stay put. I'll be with you in a bit. It's a situation room. We're looking at the northern part of Ghana, the parliamentary outcome of these areas. We've done the Savannah region. Tajuddin, our man on the Savannah region coverage, is still here with us. We've moved to the eastern corridor. We've run through about 7-8 constituencies that we saw quite a number of surprises there. When we come back, we'll take you to the northeast. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Excellent. Be that business owner that stands out and is very productive.
You're so confident. How do you do it?
It starts with Built. Where does your confidence come from? Paperwork made simple. Built takes all the hassle away. Yeah, don't be like her. Built is your all-in-one simplified finance platform. It's your home for invoices, payments, your payroll, and so much more.
Oh, wow.
Grow your business today. Sign up now at Built.Africa. Download the Built app now.
Your health is in your hands, but at some point, it passes on to us. At Mintuba Hospital and Coloproctology Center, we believe that quality healthcare isn't a privilege, it's a right. Equipped with cutting-edge technology, we are fully prepared to effectively deal with all colorectal and proctological conditions. Our team of highly skilled doctors, surgeons, and nurses are renowned for their expertise in minimally invasive and painless laser, ligature, and lungoproctological surgery. We are committed to providing a wide range of services to meet the diverse needs of our patients. Mintuba Hospital, your health is our priority. Visit Mintuba Hospital today or call us at 0244-581-541 or 0271-054-204. Mintuba Hospital, in to serve a peculiar health need.
Meet Kevin, your go-to buddy for epic movie marathons.
What do you mean?
Trust me.
On the other side.
Kevin, how come you're always this pumped during movie night?
Because I upgraded to Go TV Super Plus.
Nice. Well, be like Kevin. Upgrade and enjoy more for less.
Decide whether you're going to step up or not.
Go TV Super Plus, now at a reduced price.
Look at me.
Level up your entertainment and savings. Go TV. Love it.
National Thanksgiving Service for Ghana's Ampa. Onyameni Ghana diniye. Amen. National President Oda Aglo International no. Any executive the NIGERIAN Eka Obibiase. National Thanksgiving Service for Ghana. Afoibokesie 2024 Basso. Mimne that 21st December. Wa Blaster Square and Cry. Anopa nonso 7 a.m. prompt. Team, come and see what the Lord has done. Psalm 66 verse 5. Music ministration, award-winning SCP Kofi Sapon, Very Reverend Dr. Clara Dankwa, DJ Paloma, Aglo Kwa, and Aglo Tambourine Choirs from the regions. Mwafadye enye anything Ghana. For Vuvuzela, tambourine, anywhere handkerchief bra, niye mbomo and celebrate ye nyankopon. When ye wa yama yama in Ghana. Be aglow for Jesus.
01772222 or 0501773333.
Get ready for the ultimate celebration of the year, the Situation All White Christmas Party 2024. This Christmas Eve, join us at the Situation All White Christmas Party for a night of unforgettable vibes. Date 24th December 2024. Time 8 p.m. Location The Underbridge, East Legon. Expect nothing but pure magic as we light up the night with incredible performances from Keche, the hitmakers who know how to get you moving. Isakede, Ghana's Soul Master, with melodies that will take you to another world. Inchinchimot from 97.3 City FM and proudly sponsored by Carlsberg Beer, Kiss Drinks, Series, Bell Ice, Verve du Vernet, Bushmills Irish Whiskey, and Blue Jeans Energy Drink.
Every footprint tells a story from every walk of life. They faced challenges, celebrated victories, and made their mark on the world. Welcome to Footprints, where we walk through the incredible journeys of extraordinary people. Join us every Friday at 7 p.m. as we dive into the lives of those who've left indelible marks. It's not just about where you end up, but how you got there. Footprints, celebrating the paths that shape us all. This and every Friday at 7 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Welcome to the most exciting and diverse talk show on television. Get ready for a roller coaster of emotions as we bring you the best in personality, talent, entertainment, and jaw-dropping performances on the Upside Down Show.
The whole country, we have only one orchestra pit, which is the one at the National Theatre.
If I hadn't probably gone into journalism, I would be acting by now.
Our stage is a platform for the extraordinary, and we guarantee that you will be entertained from start to finish. Make a date with our charismatic and witty host, Frema Dunyame and Nanatufuo Boating, as they keep the energy high and the conversation flowing with their infectious personalities, bringing out the best in our guests and creating a dynamic atmosphere that keeps you hooked. So tune in into the Upside Down Show every Sunday at 7 p.m. on Channel 1 TV for an unforgettable experience. The Upside Down Show is proudly sponsored by Sky Water.
It is a Situation Room, and this is the Election Bureau. Today we're looking at the northern part of the country, dissecting all the regions that come up to form the northern part. We've done the Savannah region, we've done a bit of the eastern corridor, and a bit we'll move to the upper east region, the northern region proper, and other parts of the region. And make sure by the time we're done, we've covered all the regions for you to understand the politics and how things panned out and why they did did. We still have on the line Mohammed M. Alabira. He's about to take us through the Northeast region, what transpired there, and matters arising. Alaji, if you can hear me, welcome back.
Thank you, boss.
All right. So, Alaji, very detailed report of the Northern Corridor, taking us through Bimbila, Wulensi, Yendi, Zabzugu, Ushiegu, Pandai, Tatale, among others. Well done. Let's go to the Northeast. Where did you have any surprises?
Yes, boss, thank you very much. Yeah, again, I wanted to say something about the Eastern Corridor. You know,
sure.
NPP in the all the eight seats that they have currently from the northern region, majority of them are coming from the Eastern Corridor.
Okay.
And this time round, they have about 6 coming from the Eastern Corridor. That is Bimbila, Yendi, Zabzugu, Miang, Tatali, and Gushagu. That is, they currently occupied, but this time they have lost 4 and has only 2. That is Bimbila and Gushago on the Eastern Corridor. So that is what I forgot and I couldn't add.
Sure, thank you for that.
To Northeast region. But over there, an interesting thing happened over there. If you look at some constituencies there, the wind of change, as you earlier stated, blew over some constituencies, and other side, it was that maybe they were going for their own. If you look at places like Cherpuni, Cherpuni constituency, for instance, actually, it was a surprise to many of the residents there that the current MP, Tahiru Abdul Razak, he actually lost the seat.
Okay.
And the reason being that actually residents from Cherpuni felt that, no, Razak is one of their own. You know, he was the former DCE and later became the MP, and he was always with them throughout. The 1 month lies out that happened in the area, Razak was actually there to support them in all things. And the people actually thought he could maintain it, but he actually lost the seat. He went with Seidu Alasan Alajo, an NDC person. And this guy, though he's a native from Cherpuni, but he's not resident there. So many of the young guys there actually do not know him as they know Razak. So it was a surprise to many that he was actually being able to beat Razak. And the difference too wasn't that much. Taido Abdul Razak got 16,801 as against Alajo, who had 16,972 votes. Was one Eugene come up.
Hello, Alabira, we've lost contact with you audio-wise. Can you still hear me? I see you, yes, but you are turning upside down. Right, continue if you can hear me.
Good. Yeah, Kofi Khan Basiru, he had 114 votes out of the total votes there.
Your line is breaking again, but I'm looking at our dashboard where Sami is standing now and looking at the figures. The margin was so slim. The win margin was 171 only.
Yes. Very slim, yes.
And you were saying earlier that Razak was well known at DC, and then yes, the other gentleman, that's Seidu, is not really a resident in the area. So what did it for him? Is it the wind of change as well, or something else?
Yes, it was the wind of change. It was the wind of change that did it for him. Right. You know, Cherpuni, the interesting thing I was saying is that if you look at things, Northeast is divided. We have the Mampusi-dominated constituencies, and then the other tribes. They are also for the other constituencies, and Cherpuni is one. You know, Cherpuni is Anufo, that is the Chekosis, and then Konkombes, they occupy Cherpuni. Then we also have Yonyo constituency, and then Bunkurugu constituency. These constituencies, there are no Mampusis there.
Okay.
And Bawumia, a Mamprusi man, coming from that region, actually, those areas, because of the wind of change, they actually did not vote for him. But if you look at the Nalergu Gambaga constituency, Yagaba Kubore constituency, and then Wali, his hometown, they actually voted massively for him because those areas are Mamprusi dominated communities.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you look at Bunkurugu, Solomon Bua, who is the current MP for the area, he actually gathered 17,554 as against Abednego Azuma, who had 18,639. That is for Bunkurugu constituency. You come to Nalergu Gambaga constituency. Mumuni Nurdin, he had 34,173 for MPP, as against Isufu Seidu, 29,940 for NDC. And so you see the gap, almost about 5,000 or 4,000 there. Then Seidu Tia Karim, he had 318 votes for Nalergu Gambaga constituency.
Okay.
Then Yonyo constituency, we have Liwal Oscar of MPP. He had 9,416 against Alasan Suleimana of NDC, who had 12,014. You know, here, like I said, Yonyo, Yonyo, Bunkpurgu, and then Cherpune, they are non-Mamprusi communities.
Okay.
So you see the votes
pattern,
there.
Yeah.
Yes. So you come to Yagaba Kubore, which is Mamprusi dominated area. The current what's the name? Sports minister.
Yeah.
Mustafa Yusuf. Mustafa Yusuf, his constituency. He had 18,914 against his contender Sibiri Hamidu, who had 11,385. Then Wali constituency. You know, Wali, like I said, if not because of maybe Bawumia is from the community or that place too. You know, the primaries, they had challenges there.
Yeah.
So that could have affected Dr. Kabiru Mahama. But because of Bawumia factor, he actually did well over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dr. Kabiru had 36,700 as against Abdallah Abubakar, who had 31,401.
Okay.
That is for Wali constituency.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And but I think that is the six constituencies. Yes.
Wow. Wow. Very interesting developments in the Eastern Corridor as well as the Northeast region. Thank you so much, Alhaji Mohammed M. Alabira, for that extensive analysis on your area of coverage, and great job over the elections as well. We'll speak to you again later. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll move to the Northern region proper as well as the Upper East region. I have a lady and a gentleman joining us. They were eyes on the ground for those two areas. In the studio, I have Christopher Sima. He covered Upper East for us, returning just this afternoon from the area. How was your flight?
It was a smooth flight, and I think once the election was okay and everyone was happy, things were calm back in the north, because unlike other parts of the country where there have been tensions, the whole north has been relatively peaceful, so it was a smooth flight.
Your brother is coming from a constituency where tables and chairs were flying and gunshots, and he had to hide underneath, you know, a table to protect himself. So good for you. Also on the line via Zoom, we have Shawana Yusuf. She's going to take us to the Northern region proper. Shawana, if you can hear and see me, hello.
Hi, good afternoon, VK.
Okay, so Chris, let me start with Shawana and then I'll end with you. So Shawana, also some interesting areas you covered. You covered 7 constituencies. No, actually, you covered 9 constituencies rather. Which ones were surprises for you and which ones were, yes, this was going to happen and it's happened?
So generally, we all know that Northern Region actually belongs to the NDC. It's their World Bank, as a lot of people would say. But for me, the surprising one for me was Savannah constituency.
Okay.
It's quite difficult to have a lady being chosen as a member of parliament. We've had women trying their best so many times, especially if you go to Sanarigo. Felicia has been standing there for so many years and she doesn't make any gains till now. But if you go to Savlugu, we had a staffer from the office of the president who came to stand there. That's Hajia Fataya Abdul Aziz. And surprising enough, the people voted for her. So for me as a woman and someone interested in happenings of women, I think that has been a very interesting seat for me, Savlugu constituency especially.
I can see you are very excited about it. There's sounds of laughter in your voice. But hey, we love the woman to excel.
Yes, the whole of the Northern Region, we've not had a woman representing us in Parliament, and having a woman this time around is interesting to know.
So she's made history. Shawana, hang on with that. I'll come to you. I'm interested in that because, you know, like you said, she's a staffer at the presidency. So maybe I feel here. I'm told there's an interesting story into how she even sailed through the primaries and eventually is going to be the MP for Savlugu. So Shawana, don't go yet. I want you to listen to the story and be more excited about what you're happy. So she's made history. First woman to have a seat in the Northern Region caucus of, you know, MPs. And it was well celebrated by the Jubilee House, especially the president when the results came. You know, she served as an aide to the president. She's been with the president since 2008. She first started as one of her security, you know, like the guys or girl, you want to put it that way. And so she was part of the group of close protection officers who were with the president since 2008, when, you know, the NPP couldn't record a victory in the 2000 election. So from 2012, she was still with the president, serving him, you know, his meals and those things. So during the campaign of 2012, is that the lady with the hair? The lady with the sakura hair. Oh, the lady, yes, the lady with the sakura hair, like mine. Oh wow! Well, congratulations to her. Yeah, so she served more or less like. She actually tastes the president's food if it goes out. Definitely. Yes. That was what she's about to say. So on the campaign, anytime the president is supposed to eat, she must taste the food first before it's served to the president. I have met her. Yes. So she, when the president won in 2017, they were like, okay, now there's power. You can't join the security guys anymore, and the structures have changed. So you serve in the president's office. So at least when the president has visitors, you attend to those visitors and ensure that the president day-to-day activity within the secretariat is well managed. So that's what she's been up to. And then when she decided to run for that particular seat, she had informed the president about it. So there were some grounds work, you know, done with her, and they realized that the grounds were very fertile for her to, you know, go and contest. And this is the result we are seeing. Oh, I like the story. So Shawana, you can take over from there. So her closest contender was who? And if you can take us through the figures.
Okay, so in the Savlugu constituency, we had the NDC Abdullahi Jacob, who happens to be the incumbent, polling 24,877 votes. And the person who emerged victorious happened to be the candidate for the NPP, Abdulaziz Fataya, who polled 27,450 votes.
Okay, so she did pretty well, winning by some about 2,000 to 3,000 votes. Not bad, right?
Exactly. And I mean, for me, I felt the people of Sanarigo were not too fair to Felicia, because I mean, Felicia has been in the picture for the past 3 elections, and this time around, so
Shawana, for those who don't know who Felicia is, if you can tell her who she is and which party she belongs to.
Felicia belongs to the NPP, and she stood for the Sanarigo constituency under the ticket of the NPP. I mean, she came out since 2016, 2020, and this time around she came out again to contest. she's been battling with ABA Fuseni all this while. This time around, she went with a new face who happens to be Ataisa under the ticket of the NDC. And the people of Sanarugu surprisingly gave it to this new candidate. I mean, what I am picking on the grounds is that, okay, so let me give you the figures first.
Yes, please.
Felicia Tete under the NPP polled 15,338 votes, and Ataisa under the ticket of the NDC had 44,530.
Wow.
That was a huge margin.
Yeah.
I mean, and what I am picking on the grounds is that it looked like Felicia was tired with the people, though she wanted to give it a try to see if they were going to give her the nod this time round. What I picked was that this time round, when she goes on any campaign trail, what she tells the people is that, see, I am waiting to see what you people would do for me after all these past years, the developments I have brought into the constituency. Though I am not in the House of Parliament yet, I brought a lot of development, talk about boreholes, talk about schools, talk about helping women to start business and all that. But according to her, she's not had any results in the past years. So this time now around, she's not doing anything. She wants to wait to see what they will do for her because she's tired of spending on the people and not getting results. And this was how the people were able to pay her back. And for me, I feel Sanarugu did not do too well to Felicia, and they rather gave it to a new candidate. For some of them, they tell you that they don't ever see a woman ruling them.
Yeah, and then based on the history of the region where we are now seeing a woman for the first time, it appears having a woman as MP is really a no-no from the historical, background we have, isn't it?
From where we are coming from culturally, they don't even allow a woman to be in front for men to follow. So for me, it will be a big thing to have women, represent us in the House of Parliament. But this year round, or this time round, I think Sanarugu is not just prepared. And it feels like Felicia would have to re-strategize to see how best she's going to have to break through this particular cultural norm, especially that doesn't allow women to want to lead the masses in issues of this nature.
Okay, let's go to the next constituency that got your attention.
For me, the next constituency will be Tamale North. Suhum, our colleague in the media space, Suhum's constituency was quite interesting. We have a new face competing with Suhum. Tamale North happens to be the constituency that always has a member of parliament in opposition. So if they have a member of parliament under the ticket of NDC, the government is not NDC, or the sitting president will definitely not be NDC. So this time around, it's actually an exciting news for the people in Tamale North, having Suhum under the ticket of the NDC polling 26,500, Suhum polling 28,521 votes. And then his closest contender under the ticket of the NDC having about 12,370 votes. And also having John Dramani Mahama coming into office again at the same time. For them, they think this is going to be, a time for them to reap what they have always been sowing in the past and not getting results. Whenever they have a member of parliament under the ticket of NDC, which is mostly the case, they don't have the sitting president being from the same party. Hence, they don't get the needed development. So this time around, they are saying they are so excited, and for them, they feel Suhum actually did so well, though his government was not in power. He still tried to bring development to the people.
Because if you look at the results, 28,000 against 12,000, that was no contest for Suhum, because that's a huge, margin.
Exactly. And if you go to the Nantong constituency, the certain MP lost his bid to a new candidate. We have Hadi Tufero happened to be the deputy agric minister under the ticket of the NPP, who polled 14,506 votes. And that wasn't a competition enough for his contender under the ticket of the NDC, who happens to be a new candidate. Dr. Mohammed Sharif Halek under the ticket of the NDC polled 17,077 votes.
Okay.
And for a new candidate breaking through this match and even overtaking the sitting MP meant that the people were tired. For them, they thought development was a no-no for them. The road leading from Tamale town to even Nantong is a no-no.
Okay.
It's something you really cannot, be happy about. And the people really wanted a change to see how development would also improve in the area should they give another person the nod to rule them. And this is what they have decided. The NDC actually has it this time round, and they are hoping that things are going to change for the better for them in that particular constituency.
Okay, so Nantong went green. Okay, which other ones? You are left with Tamale South, Tamale Central, Tolong, as well as Karaga and Kumbungu.
So, VK, if you come to Tamale South, usually Tamale South is not a constituency that needs to be discussed, if you ask me, because the former minority leader who happens to be the member of parliament of the area, competing with the member of parliament Ibrahim Mutala. The mayor of Tamale was able to garner 16,640. And because I was thinking the gap would have rather been 16,640. And because I was thinking the gap would have rather been more bigger than what we witnessed this time around. The finance minister polled 27,315 votes in this year's election, and his closest contender under the ticket of the NDC, Alhassan Swalihu Dandawa, had 21,993 votes. So, for me, I was thinking the wind of change in a way wanted to blow in Karaga, but for some 1 or 2 reasons it didn't blow, which we are yet to find out why it did not blow. But I feel if that seat is not well protected, we might be seeing changes come in the next election if they don't do something about it. It looks more like the people in northern Ghana are getting fed up with the way things are being done here. Last minute developments, they wait till the very last months, not even the last year. They just wait till the very last months of the year, and then they start bringing up developments into the constituencies. And the people feel, are you now coming to deceive me or what? They feel they could have done better in the previous years than just waiting for the few months left to election for them to bring development to their doorsteps.
All right. Shawana Yusuf, thank you so much. Another detailed report of Northern Region proper by our correspondent there who took us through the election as well for the 2024 election. Shawana Yusuf, thank you very much. We'll wrap up with the Upper East Region, and in the studio I have Christopher Sime. Sami, get ready with all your boards. You take us to what it looks like before we go. But Christopher, Shawana says in the Northern Region proper, for example, they wait till December before they make any effort at infrastructural development or whatever it is. Is it the same with the Upper East, or that one was much, much better?
Upper East in general, you would see more of that happening. Okay. On my way, when I was entering Bolga, which is the gateway to the Upper East region, I saw a lot of roads being worked on, and I was surprised because this was like 2-3 days to election, and I saw heavy-duty equipment working on roads that we know have. If you look at some of the candidates that the New Patriotic Party presented, mind you, the Upper East region, since 1996, its votes to the NDC. In 1996, they won all the seats. Again, in 2024, they've won all 15 out of 15 of the seats in the Upper East region. And even the years that the other parties try, they may just win 1 seat, 2 seats, sometimes the PNC and the CPP. So largely people say the Upper East is an NDC area or an umbrella area, but the NPP has won most of these seats. So it is possible other parties or the New Patriotic Party can win majority of the seats, because out of the 15 constituencies, the NPP, even though have not maintained it more frequently, but has won almost all the seats before. They've tried and won 1 or 2 before. So it's possible they can really win these seats. But the candidates were very strong. If I say they were very strong, for example, we have the chief executive of the Maritime Authority, Ghana Maritime Authority, who was a candidate for the New Patriotic Party in the Bulsa South. Busa North, and he was going against James Agalga. So this is somebody who was on the ground and putting in all the infrastructure that people needed.
Last minute.
And you see, these are, excuse me to say, more remote areas in the region. So their needs are basically water, if you get a borehole dug, sanitation-wise, maybe you get a toilet somewhere for the people. Their needs are such that even without government, individuals can sometimes meet some of their basic needs, and he was on the ground. So these are things you were putting up there. If you see, for Timpani example, the former Deputy Minister, Deputy Attorney General, Kwenka, was there. Now he's Deputy Chief Executive for BOSS. Yeah. He was also on the ground, and this is somebody who has been in the race, and he won the seat for the first time when the Timpani constituency was created. And then he lost to Ladi,
the wife
of the former MP, and Ladi came back, and this time, not only did she beat him, but the gap was huge. And this is somebody who was also on the ground, giving the people what they need. So at the last minute, the politicians came and were solving the problems of the people. But for the NPP candidates, the problem was the NDC had already campaigned that they do not have their mother in the kitchen. And mostly when they say this in the north, it means they don't have government. So Isaac Adongo, for example, in Bolga Central, will tell you that ever since he became MP, the NDC has not had a presidency. He came at a time when Nana Akufo-Addo won. So he's not able to deliver because he needs a president who will understand him and his needs. So this was the campaign NDC had put out largely across the Upper East region. So it made whoever was contesting on the ticket of the NPP, that means your mother is in the kitchen. So why are you not able to get them to give us the basic needs we want? So it was a very difficult campaign for the New Patriotic Party candidate because you are in government. You may not be the sitting MP, but you have access to government. So
what
give us what we need. So they were compelled to either force government to do something or do something themselves, because that's what you're going to be asked when you meet the people. So a lot of works were in each of the 15 constituencies. There were ongoing developmental works, projects, deliverables. And that is why you see that in some constituencies, once the EC had announced the new president, people were taking over places because they knew that there were resources, but the resources they were not getting down to the people. And they knew where these resources were kept. So let's go get it for ourselves.
Move there. Okay. Let's look at the places that, with the resources last minute, he made an impact. And then we'll move to the surprise areas and the ones that the people punished them despite the so-called resources they brought. Who was able to keep their seats? Anybody?
Yes. So we all know the Honorable Isaac Adongo, who is the Member of Parliament for Bolga Central. And Vicky, he did what people were expecting him to do, even though the New Patriotic Party really went in strong with their candidates. And it was funny because the New Patriotic Party candidate, who was also a former secretary of the New Patriotic Party in the region, you would see him constructing roads. And someone would be like, but where does he get these resources?
His mother is not in the kitchen, so how come?
But his mother is in the kitchen, but he's not the MP. But he had resources to even construct roads. So people questioned all these things. But the Honorable Isaac Adongo has always argued that he came into office when the NDC was out, so they should keep trusting that when the NDC comes, he will deliver. So if, for example, if you look at Bolga Central, the NPP candidate 470. And then you would find Honorable Isaac Adongo getting 35,101. So that means that the people are giving him the chance one more time. This is his third term, and they expect that maybe this time, well, John Dramani Mahama is president, we'll see what he will deliver. But if you look at the presidential vote, though the candidate had 15,000, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia had 10,000. So maybe they voted for the candidate, but when it came to the presidential, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's vote dropped because he had 10,405 compared to the parliamentary candidate who got 15,000. And again, for John Dramani Mahama, when Isaac Adongo got 35,000, he was also getting 39,000. So the NDC maintained their voters to vote both presidential and parliamentary. Now you go to Bolga East, Dominic Ayine, Member of Parliament, and he too had a strong contest from a gentleman who has been on the campaign since the NPP opened nomination. He has been in the constituency, he is with the people. I engaged him and he talked about how many boreholes he has drilled across Bolga East. And sometimes they just know what the people want. They want access to basic amenities. And if you can provide some of these things, why not? So he was on the ground providing all these facilities to the people. So even the NDC in the region was scared of that seat because people said, well, Dominic Ayine has gone more than 3 times and he's going again. The people are tired. And then this is a candidate who has the resources. And he's a businessman. He has his own resources. And he was giving it out to the people. And the latter part, you would hear in some places, Dominic Ayine will say, don't worry, he doesn't understand politics. I'll show him politics and all that.
There were any reports that the point is that Dominic Ayine was campaigning more than usual because he felt that, you know, his seat was really under threat. Because there was a time he wanted to speak to him on Eyewitness and he said, Charlie, guys, I'm on the ground campaigning, so can we do this another time? But it was unusual for him to hear that, you know, he's on the ground campaigning. It then tells you that, he had a run for his money, and if care was not taken,
he'll lose it.
He may want.
But he did well. He did
twice
well. He did
pretty well, yeah.
And he really gave it a good run because everyone in the region is shocked about that results because Matthew was really giving him a good run.
Yeah.
And everyone felt that the Bolga East was going to flip blue because Matthew had campaigned to the extent that he campaigned all over and into Bolga Central.
Wow.
It means he was done with East.
He was done with East. He was now moving to Central.
Also, he
still gather more votes for East. So it's also on the 6th of December to campaign in Bolga Central.
Oh, wow.
Urging people to look for places where people who hail from the East but are living and working around Central just to speak to them. He had to work overnight. So that vote is out of hard work.
But I'm looking at the figures, Sami, take us through the figures. At the end of the day...
So at the end of the day, Matthew Salas Amwa, 7,415. Dominic Ayine, former Deputy Attorney General, 12,002, representing 61.05%. He was declared a winner. The NPP's gentleman had only 37.72%. The margin was 4,587. 4,587. Registered voters, 26,194. Total votes cast, 19,660. So these were the figures as released by the Electoral Commission. The margin between the two candidates, Dominic and Amwa, 4,587 votes.
Now this Amwa, is he from the area?
Is he from the area? So the name Amwa.
Yes, so it's not Amwa. It's pronounced Amwa. Amwa.
Okay.
It's a Frafra name, Amwa.
But not the spelling.
Not the account spelling.
Okay.
So it's Silas Amwa.
Okay.
Amwa and Amwa.
Okay.
So he's from the place and he's been a businessman who is based outside the country. He comes home, he does his business. But the New Patriotic Party giving him the chance, he has decided to settle there and run his campaign throughout. So he has been on the ground more than Dominic Ayine, and he just told people that that was not how we play politics. So he'll come last minute. And you know, they spend. So while Silas had started spending far earlier, years ago,
you run out of cash.
Now, when the campaign became heated and Dominic Ayine stepped in and was pushing, he couldn't catch up.
Yeah.
And that was the game. Forget of what you said, the messages, last minute goodies that were sent, you can't catch up. Last minute campaign resources, you don't have enough. Wow. So, for example, campaigns where they will go speak to the people and maybe give 2,000, Dominic doubles it, 4,000, 3,000.
You are giving 2,000 cities or 200 cities.
For the people who got it. So you can't catch up because you've already spent. So for Silas, he did a good job, and that was one of the seats the New Patriotic Party ticked to win in this election. And he really spent. But last minute spending, he couldn't catch up. Look at the presidential results. Bolga East, when Silas was getting 7,000, Bawumia got 4,000.
Wow.
And Dominic Ayine, whilst he was getting his 12,000, he gave John Mahama 14,000.
Okay.
And if you see Bolga East and Bolga Central, people call them brothers. And if you see Dominic Ayine and Isaac Adongo, they're always close together. They know how to work their game. So the two of them, actually, they took the Bolga area, that is Bolga East and Bolga Central, and flipped it NDC. Now let's go to Boko. Interestingly, a lot of people had fears about maybe because of the conflict. Would people even vote?
Yeah, would people vote? Yeah, because it was scary.
So I was in the Garu area, and there was a route that could easily enter Boko. It was just like a 5 minutes drive from Garu to Boko. So I said, okay, let me just spy around. And when I entered Boko, plenty of people were gathered under the Baobab tree voting. And I realized that, well, thanks to the efforts of the candidates, the presidential candidates and then the parliamentary candidates, I'm told there was a request made to the Inspector General of Police that for Boko, the military should be allowed at the polling station. Okay. So when you go to every polling station in Boko, you would see at least 2 military men and maybe a fire personnel, or 2 military men, a police, 2 military men. So the military were constant everywhere. At every polling station, there were 2. Okay. And the people came out in their numbers and voted. So it gave me that assurance that Boko will be peaceful. So I decided to then tour the whole Boko. What happened is it was a very quiet place. Okay. People were not seen walking out, apart from the polling stations where you see people gathered and voting. And the collation made me scared because when we started collating some of the results, you would see the NDC leading. And for example, you see a place where the NDC has 1,000 votes, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia 4. Then I began to wonder what's going on here. Then again, I realized the conflict. You know, this was an area that NPP could not campaign in the Boko zone months to the election when this conflict started. The Boko Naba had warned that anybody who associated with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and his party would be attacked. So NPP candidates could not campaign in this area. There were no NPP activities or anything associating with Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia or his party. So I was like, okay, then maybe that's why the candidates couldn't campaign. But again, another twist is, Vivian, people were scared when they were voting in Boko. You saw the process peacefully, but people were warned, even NPP, constituency, and regional executives. We don't mind, that's your party, but if you vote for that party in this polling station, you know what's going to come.
So as you are voting, you don't know whether they're saying who you're, and then deal with you after.
And that's why when we come to collation, I'll tell you, a lot of errors happened at the regional collation center. Why? Some of the EC officials were filling the forms under duress.
Wow.
It was late, and people were policing whatever they were doing. So when the Boko results came, for example, Boko Central, Mahama Yariga.
Yeah, because look at the results here. 25,000 and just 3,000.
Yeah. This is.
And that's interesting. So the Mampugu part in Boko voted for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. The Kosasi part in Boko voted for John Mahama. But the interesting thing is the numbers. And how many of the Mampugu communities were able to be whipped up to come out and vote. Because the Boko conflict, the Kosasis have always said that when the NDC is in power, they are able to have peace. So they were able to whip up all those people to come out for the sake of peace. So they went heavily, and Mahama Yariga, also being a candidate, also went heavy. And look at the margin he gave his opponent. And Mahama Yariga getting 25,350 and giving his opponent 3,000.
Yeah.
Then again, presidential, John Dramani Mahama gets 26,000. Again, if you see Mahama Yariga's vote and Mahama's vote, Mahama Yariga got 25,000. John Mahama got 26,000. Now, the parliamentary candidates, Paul gets 3,000. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia gets 13,000.
Oh, that's good. That's
I mean,
good.
so like 10,000 gap.
10,000
like a 10,000
So
gap,
you see, the Mampugu factor came to vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. But when it came to the parliamentary candidate, the candidate being the Kusa, the Mampugusis would not vote for you, even though you are for the NPP.
Yeah.
So the conflict has had a very negative tone on the whole Boko politics. That is why the candidate got 3, but his presidential candidate got.
Because if you look at all the narration from the northern side, it looks like tribal politics is very important. Is big in that part of the country.
Yes, it is
because from the reports Shawana gave, Alaji gave, from what Tajuddin gave, and what Christopher is giving. Tribal politics is big in the northern part of the country.
So, Sameh, where you, the candidate, you think that you go with your party, at least if Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is getting about 13,000 votes, you should be looking at maybe 5 or 7. But you get 3 because you are getting a quarter of your tribe.
Yeah.
The other tribe won't vote for you because they have a problem with your tribe. And then your tribe wouldn't all vote for you because your tribe is already going NDC.
Yeah.
So that's how Paul
suffered.
Difficult one.
And that's a win for Mahama Yariga. He has solidified
so
his
then that means Yariga will be safe for a very
long time. And this is a place that Honorable Hawa Yakubu started. And it's surprised to see that NPP has gone so low.
I think after Hawa, the only person who was able to win this was Adamu Sakande. Yes, that was around 2004, 2008 thereof.
And Hawa's ethnicity
She's a Kusa.
Okay.
Yes.
So it means that the personal, because Hawa's personality towards something else, one of the greatest politicians, female politicians we've seen in the history of Ghana. So that played a huge role, right?
Yes. And you see, Mahama Yarga is loved in the area.
Okay.
So even in the 2020 elections, when he was not well during the campaign season, he had to come out last minute to campaign. He still won.
Yeah.
And he has always been an advocate for peace in the area. So when it comes to Boko, he's their hero. They see him to be the one speaking for them, advocating for them.
Yeah.
So that is a big challenge for whoever is going to contest that area. And this time the NPP felt like, let's play an equal tribal card. When the NDC bring a Kusa, let's also pitch a Kusas, but that didn't work.
It didn't work. So
this MPP candidate is a Kusas.
Yes.
And he got 3,000.
Yes.
And his boss, who is Mamprusi,
yes,
got 10,000.
Yes, because the Mamprusi voters would vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, but they wouldn't vote for you because you're not their tribe mate.
Yeah.
But the NDC went all out for Mahama Yarga and John Dramani Mahama. Still in the same enclave, because when you talk about the Boko area, that's about the 6 districts that make that kingdom or that territory. You go to Binduri, that was another interesting place where Deputy Minister for Local Government, Abanga, who was also Deputy Minister for Works and Housing, he contested in this area. And this is a Deputy Minister for Works and Housing for the first 4 years, Deputy Minister for Local Government the next 4 years. He was on the ground, toilets, schools.
From day one or last minute?
From day one.
Okay.
As for him, the NPP had also tipped that he was going to win because this man has put in everything. All the candidates who have come in that constituency, nobody could match him in terms of his developmental work. But trust me,
look at his fate.
Yes, the Boko conflict is very clear. Don't associate with the NPP. So if you see him, he has suffered it just like the NPP candidate in Boko Central. He has worked, you go around the area there, he has put up an AstroTurf park, he has hospitals to his name, CHIPS compounds to his names, he has schools to his name, and roads, works, and they still voted him out.
Is he a first time?
So this is his second time. He came, he defeated the former Upper East Regional Minister, who was the MP before. He was the MP during the Kufuor administration, and he took over the seat. And then this is his comeback that they've shown him an exit.
Oh, but that's not fair. I don't think.
Because looking at the kind of development you've mentioned that he's brought to the area, the development speak for itself, and obviously he must be rewarded for these developments.
So in his case, he would have been rewarded because the NDC candidate is a fresher. This is his first time. So people do not know the NDC candidate that much. But the party...
To be on the safer side.
The party. And these are areas that constituency chairman, earlier on we had social media videos that they had campaigned for skirt and blouse. Even the constituency chairman advises people, vote for my candidate, but just presidential, go for Mahama. So they were not stable in their campaign because they couldn't go all blue. Vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, vote Abanga. No. They were struggling with their campaign. And despite all the hard work, Abanga saw the 7,811 against 12,943 for the NDC candidate.
It's not only affecting development, it's affecting politics too.
And if you look at the presidential too, Same, it's interesting. Look at Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's vote. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia got 2,000.
2,000? Out of our voting population of
2,067. And John Dramani Mahama got 26,000.
Oh, dear.
2,000 against 26,000. Out of 30,000 plus voters. So the conflict has really hit that area hard. But let's move to another area, Garu. So after Binduri, you move to Garu, and you'll be surprised. I got to Garu, and when I was about leaving, we had the parliamentary candidate complaining that her agents cannot even go to certain places because those territories. Garu parliamentary candidate for the New Patriotic
NPP,
Party, and they too had freshers. So the NDC candidate was coming for the first time. The NPP candidate was coming for the first time because the NDC candidate who won in the previous election was voted out during the primaries. So this was a new face coming to also contest. So they were all fresh and they were going to contest. She complained to the media that her agents cannot go to certain parts of Garu because the agents are Kosasis and those parts belong to Mamprusi areas. So how do agents who are Kosasis go to police your vote there?
On the other side.
If the party even wanted to work with people there, the threat is already out there. Don't associate. So it was difficult for candidates in this area, and this is also part of the Boko enclave. So you saw that whilst the Madam Ladi was getting 7,936, the NDC candidate got 17,832. And again, presidential, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia got 3,720, whilst John Dramani Mahama got 20,610.
But that's not fair.
Let's leave the Boko enclave for a while. Let's go to Bulsa South, where we have known faces there, Bulsa South and Bulsa North.
So Bulsa South.
Yes. Bulsa South, we have Daniel Gariba, who is the district chief executive, who has contested the seat. This is his third time. And he has always gone against Clement Abbas Apak.
Yeah.
And this is somebody that Clement Apak was all over the ground saying he's buying vote, he's campaigning and hoarding. He had all kinds of accusations that the man was doing A, B, C, D. So people thought that maybe Apak was going to lose because he was crying foul everywhere. But then again, this is Bulsa. And this is the man on the ground with the people every day. The 8 years he has been DCE. So he has brought development to people's doors. But still, the NDC factor there came out.
Okay, don't you think the voter turnout could also be a factor? Because if you have a voter population of 21,000 and only 15,000 show up.
Yes.
And look at the gap. Almost 7,000 people refused to vote.
Yes.
Imagine if these 7,000 people had joined him. There may be an upset there.
So when we spoke to the candidate after the election, one, he blamed the voter apathy and said his people didn't turn out for him. But the question is, those who didn't turn out, how do you justify whether they are NDCs or NPP? But he says that's his problem. But the question is, you've lost it 3 times. So where are you coming from making this argument of your people? You've lost it 3 times. And again, you look at that same area, presidential, whilst Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia got 4,531, John Mahama had 10,540.
Okay.
So the NDC had really just taken over the whole Upper East region and given the NPP a tough run in terms of the gap. Then again, you move to Bongo. Bongo was not a contest. Bongo was not a contest.
Edward Bauer wasn't going again.
Yes, he wasn't going again.
He lost the primaries.
And there's the thing about Bongo. Before Edward Bauer was Alberta Bongo. And Alberta Bongo won the place until he wasn't going again. Give it to Edward Bauer wasn't going again, and Charles Bauer took over. Now,
are they related?
No. Now, lawyer Charles Bauer and Dinah's contest was interesting because this is an MPP candidate who has contested 2016. It is 2020 that she didn't contest. But before 2016 and 2012, she was the candidate for NPP.
Okay.
It is 2020 that the NPP communication director, Peter Imbisa, defeated her and contested and also lost. So coming back to face Charles Bauer, people thought that this is Dinah who knows the grounds more than anyone. But still she lost 9,500.
But in 2020, the former DCE for the area contested, I guess. Yes. Because I remember...
That's Peter Yimbisa.
Yes. I remember went to that particular constituency to do constituency watch. He was then the MPP's parliamentary candidate.
Yes.
In that
who was also the district chief executive.
Yes, he was the DCE at that time.
But he lost. And then this woman took over, and people felt like this is a woman who has been there 2012, 2016. She only lost to Peter, and she's back. Charles is coming for the first time. What could Charles do? But look at the margin. Charles, 30,000. 114, Dinah 9,000.
Okay. We have to be wrapping up now. Any other?
Yes. So let's look at Bulsa North.
Okay.
Agalga's place. And you would see the chief executive of the Maritime Authority coming there, 10,000 for Bulsa North, 10,157.
Not bad.
But Agalga, 13,000. And he actually gave Agalga a good run.
Yeah.
And this is his first time, so maybe people are hoping that he will come back again. Interestingly, the whole region went green. And some of the things that I noticed was the NDC had a game plan. Most of the polling stations had lawyers. Collation Center, we were at the Collation Center for 3 days. All these 3 days, the NDC had their legal team seated, they had their technical team seated. The NPP technical team only came to the Collation Center when the EC was about to declare. For the 3 days we were there, they had just not showed up.
Maybe they knew their fate.
But maybe they could just show up to give their people the morale they needed. And then you would also find out that there were no celebrations, jubilations that much, because it's like people already knew that they were going to win. Yes. So they didn't really have an interest in it. They had already planned to give their support to the NPP. And I think it was peaceful. Even Boko that we thought there would be some issues, it was peaceful, and they've turned the whole place green.
Right, Chris Sasimi, also great analysis from you as well. This is where we end the show. Our time is up. I want to say thank you to Tajuddin Abdullahi, taking us through the Savannah region. Chris Asima, taking us to the Upper East region. And then joining us via Zoom, we had Shawana Yusuf taking us through the Northern region. And then Mohammed El Alabira taking us through the Northeast and the other part of the Eastern corridor of the northern side of the Republic of Ghana. Also helping me go through the dashboard and the numbers was Sami Wiafe. And then my name is Vivian Kailoko. We'll see you tomorrow as we wrap up Situation Room. We'll bring you something bigger, better. You'll love it tomorrow. You'll want to join us tomorrow. See you. Bye-bye.